Alright, let's get started, shall we? Starting a little bit early today, and also on an off weekday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to stream yesterday, so we're going to stream today, and we're going to continue on the playthrough that we started on Monday. Technically speaking, yesterday we should have been playing Kingdoms Reborn, but I figured that I've been playing a lot this week, actually. Not this save, mind you, but the game, so I figured that I might as well continue. I'll be playing this otherwise anyway if I wasn't streaming. Right, so, we did start getting a little bit. We've got our woodcutting already going. It's not a huge speed right now, I suppose. We did start working on the road in here, okay. And we've got some gravel in here, I suppose. Yeah, upgrading the roads is probably going to be one of those things that we need to do today, for sure. We did get the construction office up here. Which is this? I guess this could be the one providing the, at least the gravel and, I guess, asphalt and concrete. And combine those into one. Speaking of which, that is the, no, that's a covered wagon. Is that one? That's a passenger wagon. Alright, then are these are the open holes and concrete. Okay. I guess we could probably go ahead and just assign all of those in here. So I'm going to go ahead and assign these here. I'm also going to take the dumpers, move them to that one. It might cause a little bit of issues, but we've got still quite a bit of work to do. We're getting the road upgraded towards the bus platform before we start using it too much, because I know that that's going to cause some issues later on. Did we? Right, so here's the passenger wagon, which is not active right now. You know what? I'm going to call this place the Ironwoods because there's iron and there's wood cutting. There we go. And then we're going to have the gravel area over there. We're not going to get that operational today. I think what we'll probably start working on is, so first of all, we'll probably be getting some farming at least, which, to be fair, everything's growing currently. What we might need to do is get a, well, we don't need it quite yet, but get a truck to bring in fertilizer in here, because that's going to then allow us to fertilize these. Also, I suppose we got these two fields in here, so that's going to be a 2 harvests per year, maybe even a bit more than 2 harvests per year from all of these. Have a fairly good fertility if we just get a bit of fertilizer in here, so that's going to be quite a bit, because I have done a bit of testing, and yeah, you can farm all year round. So farming is going to be very, a good volumes, let's just say. That road is underway, so I guess the dumpers are still pretty busy. These are also quite busy. That's getting some more gravel and delivering to one of the roads. I guess it could be this one. That's getting at least 2 dumpers here. Yeah, that's probably it then. And there's a bit of wood coming in for the wood cutting post. Oh, right, so it's the horses over here. Now, we can't store too much. Oh, it probably went to refuel and now it's returning. Okay, that makes sense. Right, so until we get some workers over here at the sawmill again, we won't really be using too much. But until that is, or until we get the road built in here, there's not going to be much use. That one's going to require a tiny bit more gravel as well. We do have 2 digging crews. So that's kind of good enough. Is this one the... Yeah, this is the 2 digging crews and the crane and 1 open hole wagon to carry the digging crews where they're needed. But yeah, I think today we'll probably start working on the main road through here, at least up to the roundabout. I suppose one of the things that I could do... I'll go ahead and set up another crossing point over here for the road. Just to split it into a few more pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on this. So that will probably get started from the get-go. The dumpers one is still assigned to that. Okay, but that one's actually empty, so we can remove that one at this point. Also going to go ahead and remove this extra bit of road. And then this one's empty. So we could potentially either remove that entirely or move these into here, although technically speaking we won't be able to move a lot of that. So it's a bit easier said than done. We do have the high voltage switch over here already, and I believe that is connected to... Actually, where is that connected? Nothing. Okay, never mind then. Well, we'll have that connected at some point for sure. And, let's see, so... We got these. I could have upgraded the road in here, to be fair, but I figured not to bother. We got the... Oh, right, that's the covered hole. I suppose that's the... Oh, factory connection. Hold on, which one? That factory connection already exists. Oh, it's the factory connection down here that we're working on. Okay, well, that's fair enough, I suppose. The grain storage itself has yet to be built. Now, the grain storage will probably eventually be too small, but right now it's at least going to be good enough. Do we have the refueling? So we got the horse feeding yard over there. I believe we got one extra Did we actually get an extra one yet? We got this thing here. So we do have one at least there. So that we can use crops for fueling these wagons. Now, eventually, when we start phasing out the wagons, we'll then replace those with proper gas station and all that. But it's just to reduce the running costs early on. And it feels a bit, you know, more immersive when the horses actually, you know, they eat grain rather than fuel. Right, so we've got plenty of workers being picked up from there still. We do have the big garbage stand over here. I'm going to put in 2 for construction waste, although I'm pretty sure that the construction waste is not actually created in here. Oh, but we did get the road done there. Oh, there we go. And we got that road built as well, so we can go ahead and activate this again. It will cost us a little bit extra in foreign workers, but I suspect that's alright. We're getting a little bit workers for the mine, so we can get some work done there. We're not going to send... I suppose we can't use the... Actually, can we use the excavator in there? I don't think we can. Is this assigned to the... No, it is assigned to... Okay, so I don't know if we can use the excavator. Or the crane, rather. Excavator... no, that wouldn't really... So the crane? I would imagine that it could go there, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh, and the digging crew is going for... Oh, right, the big garbage stand for... Hold on, where is that? Is it... It's neither one of those. Oh, right, this is the horse veterinarian. Right, and then there's got to be another road depot. Oh, it's this one that we're building. Right, and that's going to get some concrete and gravel and also some asphalt. We do have one open hole in here. 2 open holes in here, actually. I'll rename this... Resources Construction Office. Because that's going to be basically what it's going to do. We could potentially get another concrete mixer, maybe even an open hole. They're not too expensive right now. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll use the 2-horse ones because they're so much cheaper. Admittedly, the 4-horse ones would have higher speed and a bit higher capacity, but I think we're just going to go with these for now. So everything is at least more or less has the same speed on the road, so there's less traffic jams and such. I guess that's good enough. Oh, right, we've done the paving in here. We still need to do the rolling for the factory connection. But then that's going to be done. The farms are growing slowly. It's still going to take quite a while. So we've got 8 of the small fields and 2 big ones. Oh, sorry, 2 medium ones. So that should be, let's actually see, that's probably about 400 to 500 tons crops per harvest. So it's somewhere between 8 and 1,000 tons of crops per year. With the biome and all that. Now, well, admittedly, I will say the jungle biome of the Asia map, if you're playing with the non-random maps, then honestly, it's probably one of the easiest, or at least new biomes is definitely the easiest because you don't need to worry about water, you don't need to worry about heating, you can farm all year round. Like, the big thing is, of course, there's a lot of rain and you need to upgrade the roads, but that's about it, really. Like, that's honestly the biggest thing. And if you just build gravel roads or whatnot, then it's not really much of an issue at that point. Right, so we've got a bit of, well, I've got a lot of wood in there, actually. We are turning some of the wood into board, at least, and we've got a bit more room in there. We have been exporting some of it. If you have a look at this here total, we've gotten over 2,000 rubles from selling boards. That's actually, hold on a minute, how many trips that... Is that a 4-horse or 2-horse wagon that is doing these trips? It is a 2-horse. Let's see, so that's 44 trips that is done already. this year. So, I mean, admittedly, the distance is pretty small, so it's not really that... Actually, if it's not carrying full load right now, it might be actually a few more than that. Well, regardless. Did we... Right, we still got plenty of crops there. We might want to get some better gas station locations as well. For example, well, I say gas station, the horse feeding stations. I'm going to go ahead and get one in here. Something like that, yeah. It's not going to be too expensive. Like, that's the thing. For us, the main construction cost is going to be boards and gravel. And once we get the gravel production going, then that's going to make the construction cost fairly cheap. And there's some buildings that will require steel and other resources, but a lot of the buildings that we'll be building are only going to be gravel and boards. Or mostly, at least, those two. I mean, that's, of course, basically all modded items, but still. It's going to be relatively cheap construction costs. That's one of the reasons why I decided to go with just 1 million starting cash rather than 1.4. That is the basic with hard difficulty money. Right, so do we have actually... Well, I suppose we don't have the... right, so no. Well, I was thinking is, do we have a dry bulk wagon yet? But of course we don't have that. Because we don't have anyone or anything that needs it yet. Another thing that I might do, let's actually go ahead and plop down the town in there, or region over there, so we can kind of separate this area and this area already. And then I suppose another thing that I could do is start planning out the road networks in here. I think we're going to have the sort of main road start over here. So this is going to go, well, main road, or the sort of highway, continuing through here. Leave a little bit of gap there. That's probably going to be good enough down that way, and then we'll take another road heading down south. Which, admittedly, this could probably be a 2-lane road as well, now that I think of it. Oh, technically speaking, 4-lane road when you think about it, but yeah. So we'll get that one through here. We'll probably have another roundabout in here. And then road going through here. So what we'll have is we'll have a road going down this way. Potentially a highway, now that I think of it. Then this one's going to be just a smaller road. And we'll probably have some sort of connection over here. So basically this is going to be the town itself. Then we're going to have a bit of a harbour area over here. We are going to have probably some stuff in here. Probably some more harbours and whatnot in here to bring in maybe some cargo in. We'll have the aggregate loading harbour in here. But we might have the regular cargo like the foods and whatnot we might have to import on this side. And I might also put in a bit of buildings in here for like farming, not necessarily farm fields like this, but we might go with the modded, let's see, like the orchards and whatnot. They're not massive size, but that's going to allow us to get some food directly. It's not going to be a very effective way of getting the food, and we might still, well, we are going to use the windmill as well, or the flour mill, to get some food that way. Eventually we'll upgrade to proper food factories, but right now I think the initial setup, I'm going to go with somewhat inefficient, just to get things rolling, and then eventually, you know, there's room for upgrade then at that point. Alright, so the groundworks are already mostly done. Well, actually they are done now. I'm looking at the... Oh, we do need a bit more wood in here. So we might run out of that, actually. Well, no, we got plenty in here, actually, so we got a buffer. Also, we got quite a bit of board already waiting, so I think the speed that we need to produce things is going to go down. So this is going to be our iron processing. It's just going to make it into iron. We do not have rail... Actually, where did we have the crossings? We got 2 on the south. We don't have anything else on the west. We got only 1 on the northern side, 1 on the eastern side. So there's a total of 5 border crossings into the nation itself. Okay. It's a bit of a challenge, admittedly. But that one's, At some point we may need to... Well, actually, neither one of these is really connected to the water networks, although this one's got quite a large lake there. We could potentially connect it through there, or through here, actually, and then maybe through there, and then through there, so we have a bit of a canal network connecting to the main rivers, at least in here. And then over here, of course, we got connection to the western nations, or nether nations over there. Right. And did we... Oh, we never actually put in the signs there. There we go. That might help a little bit. Let the traffic flow through slightly smoother. And what are we looking over here? So the open storage, there's still some resource there. We're probably still importing quite a bit, but it's not too bad. Another thing that I might do... I'm actually not going to replace this with mud road in here, but then a road going around here we do want to upgrade at some point. We did get the road upgraded there. Let's go ahead and get another upgrade going in here now. So that's going to give us a bit more. How's the construction office looking like? It's only got 5 targets to go to. You don't want to sort of have too many things for them to work on right now, especially since we're using, well, I suppose the foreign workforce is used through here, which, that reminds me, did we do the... No, we didn't actually even start this. The vet is something that we will need to build soon enough. We might want to build the vehicle depot first. We're going to utilize that one, and then we can have the vet over here. And we can bring in some other workers from here to just work that one. I believe we got a... Well, we got one bus, basically, that is bringing the stuff. Oh, and... Oh, I never put the... Wait a minute. Oh, right, so I did not put in the signs in here yet. Okay, well, let's go ahead and fix that then. So it's the... No direction... Or, like, don't drive on the inside, essentially. There we go. So now the roundabout works as intended. And but I don't really like that there's such a sharp turn there. It's going to slow down the vehicles too much. I could probably improve this at some point, but we're going to leave it as is for now. Then we'll get to that later. Hello, Ashton. How's it going? Okay, so that's importing more gravel. We've got still a decent bit in there. We've got a bit of supplies here for construction purposes. Right, so we could empty this thing. On the other hand, what I could do, I could stop the auto search, cancel all assignments. I'm going to move these into there. So we're going to remove this one. Looking quite primitive. I mean, we're 1901. So we're not too far into the things yet. But the official start year is 1960. We had to do a bit of save editing to get to 1900. We will start it on Monday. Right, so that one's empty now. Let's go ahead and get rid of that one. Let's also go ahead and get rid of this bit of road. There we are. And then we could either start upgrading some of this road, or we might actually just take that away, really. I suppose that was mostly to upgrade the road in here, at least at that point. And then we've got the vehicles... Oh, right, so is this one set to... Right, it's not looking for auto search, and we just need to put in the components, really. I think we can put in everything from there. We won't really be using most of it, because it's only got the buses, it's got the covered pool, which requires, is mostly for delivering the components. Oh, and there we go, the mining, or the mine is getting a little bit of work done there. The garbage stand is waiting for more stuff, mostly concrete actually right now, to get the groundworks there. And then, how's the road vehicles depot? Well, it's got a bit of concrete and gravel, but that's about it. Speaking of gravel, we still need a whole lot for the road here. So the idea is to get to this point at least, or this roundabout today. And then maybe start working on the city as well. We might want to start planning ahead a little bit on how exactly we want the city to be. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put in a bus platform. I think the 4-vehicle one will be sufficient. Put this right in the middle. Well, pretty much in the middle at least. Something like that. And then we can go ahead and... Just going to go ahead and continue this road here. Let's have a look at... Okay, we might want to turn a little bit to the east. follow along the hillside here, essentially. And then I think we're going to turn towards the coastline there. Something like that. So that's going to be the bus platform. We're not going to connect these quite yet, but we want to kind of plan ahead a little bit of the location. So I think one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to use a modded shop. Let's see, shop. So produce exchange. We can have a decent bit of capacity. And I suppose what we're going to do in here is we're going to keep it near the bus platform. We're going to put in a... I suppose, technically speaking, I could use the, is that in the storages? Like a small cold storage to store some meat in there. Something like that. And then we'll put in a, some sort of rural storage. Is that one going to be the... I suppose we can always just rotate that around. There we go. So this is going to be the kind of the road leading into the bus station. Okay, these connected in here. I'm just going to make sure that we don't actually... You know what? Go ahead and cancel a little bit of this road here. Just to make sure that we don't actually start working on any of these yet. Even by accident. Right, so that's a little bit of that. We could probably put in a clinic or something nearby. Technically speaking, there is a kind of appropriate release clinic over here. It can have up to 100 patients, actually. Which, that seems a bit odd. It doesn't have a lot of workers, so it probably won't be working through that quickly. We might still go ahead and build... Oh, but it's only got that one footpath in there. That could be bad, but I suppose if we put it in here, we can get a connection in there regardless. But there we go, so that's going to be the clinic for the town. Then I suppose another thing that we will need to have in here somewhere is going to be a fire station. And that could probably be right there, so it's not going to be too far away from the road connection. And for that, let's go ahead and take another, let's see, fire station. Take one of these. I suppose that's kind of good enough. I guess we can make it work there. Get a little bit distance. We will want to upgrade most of these roads into gravel before too long. So that's at least a few of the basics. We do not have a school or a kindergarten here yet. We do not have... Actually, we don't have any water stuff in here yet. We do not have any of the garbage collection. That's something that we will need to plan ahead. And that's actually something that we might want to go ahead and build in here already. For example, right about there. That should be enough to reach at least all of these 3 buildings. There's going to be a decent bit of garbage in this. So that's going to be a good collection point for that. Then let's see, what else do we need in here? Let's actually go ahead and show everything in here. So once we go to the state infrastructure and all that, we can see more of the options in here. So we don't need to go back to the mod tab constantly. No, we do need to eventually have the police stations and such as well. And the university halls of residence. Headquarters, right. Technical universities. Alright, so let's start with the kindergarten. There is a village kindergarten. It can have up to 50 children, which is probably not going to be sufficient in the long run. Also, this one... No, it does have a bit of a footprint, actually. Never mind, then. Right, we could probably just put it in here near the... Actually, what we'll probably do is we'll put the school here. Elementary school right about there. And then we'll put in the kindergartens on like 2 sides of the town or something like that. Like maybe one closer to... I suppose this could be still pretty close to the school. We'll leave a bit of gap there. Place one there, and then we can put another one on this end somewhere. So it kind of divides it a little bit. And not everything is necessarily going to go into the same kindergarten. Right, so we've got the schools, kindergarten. We're not going to put orphanage yet. We've got a clinic. We might need a bigger one at some point. We've got at least a starting one for now. Let's see. We're not going to put... Well, I suppose actually we are going to put Communist Party headquarters for our university. That's going to be near the bus stop. It's going to be a nice and good location there. We might also get a town hall. How much does this have workers? It's 20. Okay. There's a little bit. We could maybe have this one kind of attached to the headquarters. I think I like that. And then let's see. In the residential areas, of course, we're still missing quite a few things, like the... Actually, I suppose the tavern? Well, we don't actually need to have a tavern, at least not initially. It's a nice way to get some stuff, of course. We could get the amphitheater. Or, okay, so there's a small theater, that's a mod item. There is also the library and club. So we'll take this one, actually. That's got really good ratings there. Let's see, so... this could actually, technically speaking, also be attached to the headquarters. Kind of separate building there, but yeah, it's in the same region, so that's going to be a little bit culture. And then sports, I think we're going to go and... Actually, beaches are going to be a bit too far away. Otherwise, these are pretty good, though. But too far away for actual proper use in here. Also, how are we looking on the road there? That's still underway. How's the mine? Okay, we need a bit more components there. Which... Oh, right. You know what? Where's the... Oh, right, so the covered hull wagon will send this one with the resources, and I guess we can go ahead and just sign the components to be picked up from the customs for now, so that can at least deliver the stuff. And we'll still have the wagons over here to do the construction work when it needed. Speaking of which, we could start working on the grain storage. That is going to be something that we'll definitely need. Right, so we've got these. Right, so what did we get? We got to the sports. Let's see, is that really 6 people? Or 6 workers? I guess it could be somewhere in here. And then... don't really need the pubs right now. There's a whole lot of different housing types in here. All these are actually quite a bit in there. But anyway, so we've got culture. Not a lot, mind you, but we've got some culture. And we've got some sports. We do not have any of the housing, of course, yet. We do not have the crime or... well, any of the crime-related buildings yet. Or the orphanage. We got the headquarters, at least. Some research. We might want to go ahead and start planning a little bit further. Let's actually go ahead and put in some garbage stands in here. There could be at least some of that. We could potentially put more than one, but I think we'll go with just one for now. In that place, that is. Let's go ahead and start figuring out a little bit of the footpaths. I'm not going to start working on these yet, but I just want to kind of plan out a bit of their locations. And these days, they don't actually get in the way of building the roads anymore, so that's really handy. Get the connection there. We're going to get these. Probably have a connection going through that way. So basically, we've got the basic services already. At least somewhat planned out. I'm going to go ahead and have this one continue further north. I can link in there. I'm going to go past that point. We might build something in... Actually, I have an idea what we're going to build in there. So in the residential, there is the... Is that in the medium? It is in the medium. We get one of these. Unfortunately, these do not actually have any sort of limitation, so you could basically just put it on top of it. But we're going to make sure that we don't actually do that. We're going to have this sort of... we'll leave a bit of courtyard in here, actually. In there, so that the housing is going to be kind of facing down that way. We're going to put in a garbage collection point in the middle. Something like that. Maybe plant a few trees there in the end as well. So that's going to be a little bit of a area there. So that's going to be our first server housing. That's probably going to be the workers running the... Well, basically all three of these, probably. Let's go ahead and get a few more footpath connections down this way. I'll go ahead and... Get a little bit closer to these buildings here. Get connections there. Oh, actually, I wonder... Well, there's several things that I wonder. Could get the obelisk in here, maybe. Just about. It's a bit tight spot, but we can do it. Now, that one in there. So that was the town hall, essentially. We need to connect this one in here. How's the road connection going now? It is... Well, they still need a bit more gravel in there, but it's coming along quite nicely, actually. So, how's the... Okay, we might want to cut this off again for a smaller piece there. I'm probably going to go ahead and start just working on that already. It'll be done eventually. We've got all the resources for the grain storage, so now it's a matter of just building it. And the iron mine, we're getting through the steel frame. We've got the crane in there, actually. There we go. That's going to help at least to some degree. Could we actually... We could probably get a second crane, now that I think of it. Let's see... road crane. 2-horse crane, that's 724 rubles. We're still spending quite a bit, especially for... Probably actually steel is the main thing. Yeah, steel makes about 31,000 this year off of the 43,000 that we spent on import and stuff. But hey, we've got almost 3,000 rubles this year from exporting boards. Also, are we getting close to getting our harvest? We have actually gotten some harvest already. Oh. Yeah, there's still quite a bit of stuff to be picked up, though. I'm actually thinking that I might, since we've got 2, 2, and 2 in here, that might be a bit too much. What we might want to do is just maybe reduce the harvest vehicles to 1. Well, we'll go through these initial harvests. We haven't gotten any fertilizer in here yet, but that's something that we'll probably want to do as well. And then we're going to have like a one tractor maybe plowing a field and the other one fertilizing a field. That has been reason to harvest it, and then we'll have one doing the harvesting. And then 3 trucks to, or 3 wagons to bring in the crops back from there. Of course, we've got a pretty full bit of crops in here right now. Once we get the grain storage in here, we can start using that to pick up some grain to either deliver to the various feeding yards that we have for the horses. Speaking of which, did we get any progress? Oh, right, so we've got most of the stuff there, so the feeding station could be built. The road vehicles depot, we've done the groundworks for it, but we haven't built the building yet. Of course, we haven't assigned that to be built either, so that has a bit of an impact, admittedly. Right, so how's the road? We did start working on that one. It's not done, of course, yet, but it's better than nothing. And then this one is... Well, they got all the gravel in there, so it's a matter of time before it's built. Right, so we've got a little bit of land over here already. We might want to plan for a second clinic in here somewhere. We could potentially just use another one of these. Hold on, was it 8? Yeah, that's the big tool for me. Right. So we'll go ahead and assign this... probably facing here somewhere. Maybe we'll leave it room for another housing in there first, and then we'll put this in here. And then we'll go ahead and plan out a little bit of a road passing through here. There's still some quite important things that we haven't placed in here, though. Okay, connection through here. There we go. That's going to allow us to build some of that. So let's next start worrying about the... Well, first, I guess, water is something that we might want to worry about. Actually, if we look at the plumbing, there is the... So that's a substation, okay. Ah, right, so one of them is a pump. Well, these are at least the wind power pumps. That doesn't require any power, technically speaking. Operate with water. Okay. So the water wells. There's these wind power wells, but there's also a water wheel intake pump, which doesn't require any power. It can bring in a whole lot of water. It's not very expensive. The water quality is actually pretty decent. But of course, it needs to be next to a water And probably it will be impacted by the pollution in the water. So what I'll probably do is we'll have our water intake on this side. It won't require any workers or anything like that, so it's kind of useful in that regard. We'll put that one in, then we'll put in a pump. I guess one of these. It does actually allow you to split it into two. Is that one? Ah, that's 1-to-1, and then this is a bit larger. Okay, so we'll probably put in something like this in here. And then I guess what we'll probably do is we want to have the water treatment plant. We can actually use one of these water filtration plants. Which is, yeah, again, another modded asset. We're going to put in, I suppose, if we rotate that around, no, it's not quite what we needed. Kind of wanted the pipe to head in here, so I guess this could be somewhere around there. And then what we'll do is we'll need to have a water tower. To be fair for that, we can use... it's a wooden water tower. It does have a decent bit of... actually, I don't remember how much does it have capacity, but it does have a capacity nonetheless. It does take a little bit of power as well, but not too much. And the wind power pump, right, so that's not really what we're looking for. They don't really have a lot of capacity in there. Not going to use the modern water towers yet. Eventually we might switch to those, but we'll just get a wooden water tower, I guess. It does have 2 outputs at least. So it kind of works. So we can probably put this in here. Except I think we need to put in another pump in between as well. Let's mirror that. We can get that connected somewhere. It's not going to be a big deal. And then we need to get the... I think we are going to have to put in the usual... what's the thing? What's the intake? Right, a water switch. They are... Well, the tiny water tower... That actually kind of works for that. Is there a second variant from that? I don't think there is. No, we'll use the regular water switch. Just to provide a bit of... How's the... Okay, it's not going to be too high of an incline in here. That at least kind of works. I'm going to go ahead and get this one here somewhere. Which way does that... Okay, it faces towards where the... Yeah, okay, where the pipe is coming from is where the footpath heads to. So we could potentially even put it on this side somewhere. I suppose we could build it there. That allows us to then go ahead and get the footpath connection over here to the same maybe to the same location, if it wants to actually move in here. I'm gonna guess no, it does not, unless... Okay, that works. There we go, so that's gonna allow us to get a bit of stuff there. We're gonna also go ahead and extend this footpath through there. Get another connection in here. Actually, can we squeeze in a children's park in there? Into that corner, or children's playground? We could. It's a bit of a tight spot. But we can. Let's get that squeezed in there then. Right, so we got at least some of that. So we got the water stuff in here. We haven't put any of the pipes yet, of course. We'll get to that at some point. Nor have we put actually any of the roads in here yet. But that's a few things at least. I do wonder... It's not going to be too bad in terms of the radius. Now, of course, sewage is something that we do still need to worry about. And for that, I think what we'll do... Let's actually have a look at the... Right, we might put in a sewage switch over here somewhere, a bit downhill, essentially. Then we can put in a sewage discharge in here. Speaking, there is a variant that if this one doesn't want to... Oh, well, no, actually it does go surprisingly well there. I'm honestly surprised. There we go, so we'll get the sewage discharge in there, and we can get a... Probably just a massive sewage pipe through there already. I'm hoping that, actually... it shouldn't be poking through the ground there. I'm going to connect to the middle one just in case. There we are. So that's going to be the sewage in there. Of course, we need to get some of the sewage tanks For these, we're going to use the modded ones. There is some modded ones, or modded options that we have available, but they seem to be a bit broken, I'll be honest. Go ahead and get a sewage tank there. It's just like of the options, so the Cloaca Maximus, they have a massive amount of sewage that they can hold on to, but it seems like it's gathering multiple times the sewage that you normally would be, and that's kind of the problem. And then there's the, well, that's the transfer point, but like these have pretty insane capacities there as well for the tank. So the sewage tank will do, but we'll probably want to have at least a second one in here somewhere. Where do we, I suppose we could place it in here. We already got one on there. And actually, let's go ahead and put in the water substations as well. Let's rotate that around a little bit. Can I actually, I suppose, yeah, I could put one there. That's got a decent radius, and then we can probably put in another one over here somewhere. So that's at least going to be 2 for the town. We might need to put in the third ones, but we'll start with the 2. Have we stolen it from Rome? Maybe. Although, technically speaking, I should probably delete the 5th on that one. See, so we'll get this one in here. Let's also go ahead and figure out the road down here on the coastline. We want to leave a little bit of room for it. Also, let's double check the... Okay, that isn't done yet. And the grain storage isn't done yet. Probably have tons and tons of crops already on the fields in here waiting, but that's alright. How's the mine coming along? There's a little bit more work down there, but not too much. So I'm guessing this one... Oh, yeah, that's not too far. We've got 2 cranes there, so that should make life go a little bit faster, or the production go a little bit faster there. Let's go ahead and get the roundabout in here. So it's going to be a little bit on a uneven terrain in here, admittedly. We're no stranger to that. There we are. We do not have the snapping on right now, so should be relatively easy to assign that there. There we go. So we got the connection to the roundabout. I think we're going to have a proper road heading down this way. And then we'll have a bit of a smaller road heading to the east. Because I don't want this to be sort of the main road necessarily, but it is going to be connecting to that one. Or rather, this is going to be probably going through here. And then this connects in here. There we are. So we've got a decent bit of space for the town. We haven't actually placed down a lot of the housing yet, but we'll get to that in a bit. Right, so we've got that. We'll get the footpath through here. We're not going to actually start working on that yet. But I just want to get the footpath connection for this. Can I actually get a... not too much, actually. Well, I suppose it doesn't matter. That's fine, because we do need to have a bit of room for the potential harbors and whatnot in here. That's probably going to be good enough. So we've got... Actually, one of the main things that we're still missing is power. And for that, we probably need to get a power transformer. We've got several options, admittedly, in here. But let's... so we've got the high voltage power coming from there. I think what we're going to do is we've got a... I know that I've got a... Is it... Transformer, this one? Yeah, this is the one that I like to use. So it's got a fairly good connections in there. You can also basically just have the power go through, but then you can also connect this one to multiple small ones. So it's kind of a useful location there. I think we might want to put it on... Man in the Hills, thank you for the restart. Much appreciated. How's it going? Right, so we'll probably go ahead and connect this here somewhere. We'll probably get another road connection from here, which, to be fair, we could already go ahead and split that up a little bit. Get through that way. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do in here, but I've got a few ideas, at least, in mind. So we'll just go ahead and connect that there. We're not actually going to start building any of this yet. I just want to kind of plan out at least some of it. Is that one... Okay, so that is now something that has been started, and that one also got started. Okay, well, fair enough. But yeah, we got those. So that's going to get the power line. I'm going to just use the Hires 12 megawatt underground wire, which admittedly might not be the best, but it's going to be more than enough for our current needs. I'm going to go ahead and dig it underground a tiny bit. Now we just need to find a location where it's wanting to go. And we'll go like 3 meters underground in there. It's a little bit deeper perhaps, but it's at least going to allow us to then do like roads and such kind of over it. I'll kind of follow the control line or next to the roads in here along the control line so that it's hopefully not going to cause too many issues in there. And then we can kind of connect through here into that one. That's going to be the power line coming in here. Then we'll just need to get some substations. And we'll probably just use the footpath substations in here for now. So we'll go ahead and put one probably on this end of the town. Something like that. We'll probably put another one somewhere near the other... Actually, So if we've got one there, we'll probably want to have the second one over here somewhere. Because there's going to be a decent bit of power consumption overall. And that might not be enough, but we've got extra room in there for additional ones. Did I ever put in the substation in here by chance? Oh, I did. Okay, there we go. So we can take one of these connections for that one already. We'll have that one go along the surface level first, and then we'll go to the... Oh, no. That was the wrong buttons. The 3 meters deep section there. Kind of want to follow along here. We could actually curve this around a little bit. But technically speaking, the straightest, or straight routes are going to be the shortest and thus the cheapest. In case of these, at least. We're going to go ahead and take one of these. Now, to be fair, since we're putting these a bit further underground, it's going to take a bit longer to dig them in there. But at the same time, it just like allows us to build more stuff in here without having or running into too many issues, at least. So that's now connected. We'll take this one. And similarly dig it down. Actually, we can go ahead and follow along here. And from this point onwards, we'll actually disable the snapping. Go a little bit further underground there. And we're going to raise it back to 3 meters high. Get near these footpaths. So we need to get to that point. Which essentially, if we go around this way... should be relatively simple. Here we are. It's a bit of a long one, but that's fine. So now we've got power. We haven't got on the pipes yet for the water or the sewage, to be fair. So, well, we've got one for the sewage, but we don't have all of it. Let's go ahead and work on those next. So I think with the medium pipes will be more than plenty for the sewage. It might cause... well, I don't think it's actually going to cause that many issues in here. That one, on the other hand, could be a bit of a problem. Well, technically, it shouldn't be poking through the ground too much, so I think we can actually do that. Let's double check. Yeah, no, it's fine. Okay, and then we've got room for one more connection in there. Then for the water, now I do know that this one's got quite a throughput. So we could potentially put even the big water pipe in here. But it's a bit more expensive. It's not really that bad of a price, though. So let's get that one first. Then let's have a look at the control lines. This is going to be a bit of a steeper one. We'll go with the 3 meters steep, so at least it keeps a little bit of a leeway in there. So that's connected. Then I guess we'll just connect this one in here. Then through this into the water tower. And then the water tower will probably just take... I don't think we'll need that much, to be fair, right now. So we'll go ahead and take a slightly smaller diameter pipe. Go to the substation in here. Go a little bit further underground here, just in case. We'll follow through here. And there we are. So that's going to be something, and then we're going to go ahead and just probably use the... I think... do you want to... I guess we could just go with the small water pipes. I don't think there's going to be that much water consumption. If there is, then, you know, we can just... replace some of the pipes, or build like a parallel pipe or something like that, and replace it. I guess that's gonna be good enough. Then we'll get a second one down here. There we are. That's going to be a little bit further. So that's going to be the water pipes already planned out. Of course, we haven't planned out the entire stuff in there, but we did get another road built, so let's go ahead and get upgrading the next bit. Going to get us almost all the way to the roundabout. I'm going to put in another connection in here just in case. And then we'll be able to upgrade more of that. So the road at least is getting a decent bit of upgrades there. We have gotten the grain storage now. We've gotten already a decent bit of crops there. How are we looking on the... Well, I suppose we got both of the harvesters still busy here. We haven't started getting all of the grain yet. Or rather the fertilizer yet. We haven't gotten any of that. We've got plenty of crops over here on the field still. Actually, I suppose the easiest way to spot that is look at the overlay. So yeah, there's a decent bit of crops already. Technically speaking, I suppose... Hold on a minute. I remember that we can see it from somewhere. Oh, right. Resource movement. Crops. If we have a look at this year total. Okay. There's quite a bit of production. Well, I say quite a bit. There's a decent bit of production. There's already about 280 tons that we produced. And we've still got those two fields that we're harvesting. We did have to import a tiny bit of crops, but I suppose that's kind of... already done for. Let's go ahead and get another 4-horse covered hole in here. See, 4-horse covered hole, there we go. It's a bit more expensive, but then we're going to go ahead and assign that as a source for crops. We don't need to load crops at all anymore. So there we go. We could potentially even start selling some of the crops, but it might be best to wait until we got at least a little bit of stockpile. But I guess that could be a way for us to get at least some income. So you know what? How about you unload crops? There we go. That's going to give us something for that particular truck to do. And we still need quite a bit of workers for the iron mine. We do have one of the cranes there. I'm guessing this one's now idle. Wait, you've got a crane there? Oh, you do? So we got 3 cranes now, did we? Oh, yeah. Alright then. Okay, so is there any other building that we desperately need to do? I suppose actually the vehicle depot over here would be a pretty smart one to start working on. Let's get that underway. One moment. Alright then, so that's done. We got the fire station. We actually got a firefighter in there as well. Well, we had a firefighter in there. Don't think we had a fire yet. Hey, luckily there. Thank you for the raid. Much appreciated. Did you manage to complete the road up the plateau already? Currently, we started this playthrough on Monday, playing in, we started in 1900, and we're playing on a randomized jungle map. We have fairly few border access points. Halfway. Fair enough. Okay, well, there is another way to do that. If it works, there we go. But yeah, so we've got a fairly prematurely sad. That's what she said. Shout out somebody you never heard of the other day. Yeah, it happens. It happens. But yeah, we've got a bit of farmlands in here, so it's fairly early on. We are starting to plan our first town in here. Which, to be fair, we're not actually working on yet. I want to make sure that we get the road upgraded in here. Although, the mud roads, you know, they allow us to go as fast as we can with these wagons that we have. I also got the digging crews over here because I really like these. Like, they don't take any fuel or anything. They do need to repair every now and then. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Okay. Admittedly, you know, the Man in the Hills is a subscriber of the channel, so at least it wasn't a nobody. But yeah, it happens. So I hope everyone's having a nice day. I definitely am. Okay, so there's the... Oh, right, we've got some farms with low fertility. Actually, most of these are low fertility. Now, we haven't started importing any fertilizer yet. We probably could do that already. Because I suppose the tractors aren't really busy right now. So let's just go ahead and get a... Where do we have... Here's a depot. Although I suppose we're building a depot in here. Might as well wait until this is done. Of course, we do probably need to upgrade the road in here at some point. Well, who knows? Maybe one year we'll get to there. Okay, so we've got plenty of... so right now, most of our income is just from... there we go. There's the proper one. But yeah, our only income right now is selling boards. Now, to be fair, we do get some money out of it, although it's relatively low. Luckily, the expenditures that we have are also fairly low, although the foreign manpower is the biggest problem right now. Of course, once we start selling some of the crops, which we're probably already doing... Actually, well, let's have a look. How much is a wagon load of crops worth right now? It's worth 56 rubles. It's not a huge amount. It would be $69, which would be a bit nicer, but regardless, we're at least getting some more progress done there. We're getting the road upgraded in here. Once we get through the roundabout, then we can probably start... well, we'll start upgrading the road in here, and then maybe start working on some of the buildings in here. We haven't actually... We've got a tactical gap in here, so we don't accidentally start working on anything here yet until we're ready to start working on. But I'm hoping that we'll get the town up and... Well, at least up, not necessarily running properly yet, but at least up by, say, end of 1905. Or preferably before that, but I suppose since we don't need heating or anything like that, it should be relatively easy. It's just, the distance is a bit high to get everything in here with some wagons, so that's going to be taking a while. I'm hoping that we're not spending too much time on doing things that we don't need too much. But getting the horse veterinarian over here is going to be good. We do need to then deliver some stuff for it, of course. But if we have a look at our vehicles, wear and tear, there's already some at 19%. So we may need to repair those sooner rather than later. And there we go. So we've got at least... Actually, we've still got... Oh yeah, there's an empty distribution office there. Right then, and then we've got the vehicle depot over there, which we might remove at some point, especially once we get this one in here. Because we don't need one there and one here. It's kind of pointless, unless we need to have some extra space in case of a fire and we need to evacuate vehicles, which happened to me yesterday, I think, on an off-camera playthrough, where it's just, you know, one of my... I think the first... No, it wasn't the first. The second construction office that I built decided to catch on fire and had 12 vehicles in there. I had to desperately try to evacuate most of the vehicles from there. And it was actually all but the digging crews got out of there, but it did burn down because I didn't really have a proper fire station. I did have a fire station like this, next to some... well, it wasn't even that far away, but the building itself was a bit further away from the customs, so getting the workers in there in time did not work out. But anyway, the farm is doing... Okay, we've actually emptied quite a bit of the farm already. Although there's still plenty of crops in the grain storage, to be fair. We have no power in here, but that's okay. Oh, there we go, 57 rubles now. So how much have we gotten thus far this year? The 4,500, of which, okay, about 400 is from crops. We've got on over 4,000 from selling the boards. So at least there's something. I've got a bit of garbage in here. Do we actually have the technical service somewhere? Gathering that garbage. I don't think we... No, we do. Right, there we go. So that's going to be delivering out. But of course, since it's large containers and all that, they're going to wait until they have 3.6 tons in there, and then they're going to be picking up. So we've got plenty of room in there. And we've got the road vehicle depot in there. Got an iron mine. Oh, that is almost ready for the tunneling. There we go. That's going to take a while, though. And then, I suppose... Well, we haven't placed down a lot of the housing in here yet, but I suppose we can worry about that a bit later. Another thing that I might want to start planning ahead is the road connection through here. Which, admittedly, I should probably just go ahead and upgrade these into gravel road from the get-go. So we don't start working on that stuff. Like, we don't really want to be then bringing in stuff, or like... start upgrading these when we also need to bring in some stuff for the buildings themselves. Here we are. So what about the loans, luckily? Did you manage to pay anything off yet, or did you have to take several more loans while waiting for the things to be built? Now, admittedly, as you did mention there, when I was watching, is that you're still, like, the amount of loans that you can take is at least increasing, so you're kind of on a somewhat stable foundation there, despite having to take some more loans. Ah, there we go. We've got the vehicle depot in here, so let's go ahead and get a waste truck in here. 4-horse waste wagon. No, that's the wrong one. I want to get the large container wagon. Well, now we've got an extra one for the garbage collection later on, which is probably not the end of the world. Several more. You went from 4 to 5 million, but you can borrow a solid 3. Ah, there we go. These wagons are modded. There's some, actually, I suppose I could probably find that. Paying for the steel factory, which cuts out 300,000 expenses per year. That's gonna be pretty big, yeah. But like, hold on a minute. I'm just gonna quickly check on the thing. So there is some collections in the stream workshop, which have a lot of these things that I've subscribed to. Let me just find the horse wagon right now. Or the collection that has those. Loads of anonymous meetings. When also anonymous, you know. I think we're getting close. It says I've got 27 pages of, well, it's 10 per page, but yeah. About 260 mods that I have downloaded. So there's quite a few. Aha. So there's this thing, which has the horse things, and then there is also another collection that has a lot of the early start stuff. Here we are. Now let's get back to the game, shall we? I don't have quite all the mods on those lists downloaded, but I have quite a few of them. But like the main things for us is going to be of course, the horse wagons and all that, and then of course the various buildings that we have available, like these party members, headquarters, and all that. Unloaders. Well, yeah, the question is, of course, how often do those loans happen? You know what they say, a loan a day keeps the banker away. Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, so, we're still getting a bit of gravel over here for the roadworks, which is going to take a while. Also, something that we are going to be doing on this playthrough, which I did not write down in the... So I've already uploaded the first stream of this on YouTube. That's interesting. But yeah, one thing that we're going to do is we'll probably start with just 100 workers that we're bringing as immigrants, and everything else is just going to be natural growth. Unless we fail, which to be fair, since we don't have any need for heating, which is usually the #1 cause of death for my republics, that shouldn't be a problem, and as long as we can make sure to provide food and all that, it shouldn't be a problem. So we'll just start with 100 workers. There's going to be like probably, I don't know, around 150 to 170 total population at the start at that point. But yeah, we'll be having a fairly limited population to begin with, and then we'll just allow it to grow. It's hopefully we'll have enough money to sort of run until then. I suppose another thing that I could start doing is start working on the power cable over here. It's a bit of a long one. So we can get at least one level for it done, well, one part of it done already. And really, that's a whole lot of work that is required for the digging. Do we have a digging crew in here? Not right now. They're busy somewhere. Well, I suppose one of them is busy on the road over here. The other one is... well, that was a question mark. Ah, right, so we got the large container thing over here. How about you go and import some fertilizer, and go to the farm and wait until unloaded. And launch. That's going to allow us to do a lot more stuff in there. Are the harvesters both back in here, actually? I believe they are. Well, technically speaking... okay, no, that is not the harvester. Now that I think of it, because it's... well, this one is the harvester. Right? Yeah, okay. So what we'll do is we'll actually send this one back to there for now. What we can do is we can then go and... well, first of all, we can unpause. We can buy another truck over here to empty the fields that slightly bit faster. It's not going to be a huge increase, but I suppose it's, technically speaking, a 50% or so increase. Because if we have a look at the... there's still quite a bit of crops to be harvested in here, and if we start fertilizing the fields, they'll be ready for harvest a lot sooner. We could potentially reduce the minimum fertility even further, but it's good enough for now, I'd say. Ah, right, and we never actually started working on this thing. Well, now we've got the vehicle depot, that shouldn't be too difficult. Also, I suppose, once we get the harvester in here, we might want to upgrade that bit of road there. Just so that we don't need to worry about it later, because these are going to be permanent buildings in here. Well, for the most part, anyway. Oh, and there we go, the tunneling has begun. But for this, we can't have any mechanisms. We do not actually have any mechanisms there anymore. Sometimes the horses will have some visual glitches where the horses are inside the wagon there. Temporarily permanent. Something like that, perhaps, but yeah, no, this is going to be like a... so this is going to be for the iron mine, and of course the vehicles that are going to be near the border. So I want to have some sort of way to repair them in here. And it's not... well, it's going to take a lot of gravel and boards to build it, and usually these buildings also take a lot of time to build. Oh yeah, it's the rotating legs for sure. I suppose if we go in the faster speed, it's not as obvious, but yeah, they rotate from the knees. It's kind of a genius way to do it, though. Because also, technically speaking, they are just kind of invisible wheels. So they kind of need to have the rotating thing in there. I do, like, honestly, I wish that at some point they have a official DLC that adds in, like, earlier start. Because that would be, honestly, quite a fun. Admittedly, you know, it might not be for everyone. But, like, I think having official support for stuff would be nice. Cartoon horses? I mean, yeah, kind of. But there's nothing wrong with a bit of cartoony stuff every now and then. Okay, so we have entered year 1902. So how much did we do last year? We sold for over 5,000 rubles. We started selling the board earlier in the year, like in April or so. And we sold over 4,000 rubles worth of that, and we already got 800 rubles from the crop sales. We only did that right at the end of the year. So, honestly, that's going to be pretty good. And now we're starting to do the fertilizing of the fields. Now the fertility is growing fairly quickly there. That's going to allow us to then get the harvest or the crops going again a second time sooner. And thus we can get a lot more out of it. Yeah, I think with this setup, it's probably not going to be enough capacity in here regardless. We need to have a bigger farm for all of this. But just having the 2 for the sowing, 1 for harvesting, and 3 for crop gathering is probably going to be okay. If the vehicles gathering the crops were bigger capacity or faster, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. But right now, since the capacity is a bit of a limiting issue there. Also, I thought I put in the... I do. But why did you just decide to go through there? Maybe it's the service vehicles can ignore it or something. Oh, we got a bit of traffic jam with the customs again. Oh well, it happens. Okay, we got this set of trees here blocking the view, so we can't actually see when they're doing that. Right, we've got those 2 vehicles in there. We have yet to do the car work for the vehicle repair station. And we still need a whole lot of resource for the iron mine, although I suppose we're not getting that too quickly. We're getting a little bit steel there right now. Oh, right, yeah, we need to get a lot of gravel there to do the groundworks, of course. Well, that makes sense. Speaking of which, this one's almost, well, it still needs another 5 truckloads, technically speaking, or wagon loads, but it's at least a little bit closer. Then we'll get that one, we'll get the roundabout. And after that, we can start working on the road through here. Then get the... probably the road through here, at least at that point, and slowly but surely build up the rest of it. Once we have the road connection in here, we can then get going with the actual building stuff in here. We still need to place down a whole lot of housing. Like, this is basically all the basic services. We do not have a pub yet in here. I'm actually thinking about maybe not having a pub, at least not initially. Like, we can add that in if happiness is becoming a huge issue, which admittedly it might. And of course, at some point, once we get our own population, a little bit spare population to... Oh, actually... we want to probably put in a... so that's the fire station. I'm going to put in a construction office in here. It doesn't need to be a very big one. But the reason is, I want to be able to have the construction office that is picking workers from here be close enough so that it can actually reach there when there are people waiting, rather than, you know, drive or ride half along the Republic, or, well, thus far built Republic, just to try to pick up people and then maybe get one person from there. And then go all the way across the nation to build something, and then... it's very inefficient if you have it too far away. Alright, well, have fun and enjoy your food, and thanks for the raid, much appreciated. Let's see, so that's a bit more concrete coming from the mine. I believe we're still building a little bit on the mine, but not too much. We have not gotten the gravel here yet to start the groundworks. And how's that one? That's a bit more concrete for, again, for the mine. We do have the vehicles, well, they unlock according to year. So right now, the first vehicles that we'll get, technically speaking, there is already, probably not on this side. Well, no, there is actually the Model E Steam car. But, like, there's not a lot of cars available yet, but they unlock, like, most of them unlock, like, well, some of them unlock around... and I think 1907 is at least some of the Steam cards, which is also a modded item, admittedly. And then, like, the vanilla cars start unlocking, like, in the 1950s onwards. Because this vanilla start here is 1960. Okay, so have we gotten a lot of fertilizer in here? Oh, we've got a decent bit, actually. It's pretty decent. And is that one... yeah, that's fertilizing it. That one's not quite yet fertilized enough. But I suppose they're working on the fields that have the least fertility right now when they go do the fertilizing. Everything else is growing. We could potentially reduce the minimum fertility to 50. Again, that's the default. Chocolate crust. Debatable. I mean, I suppose we could consider that as the food. But yeah, so we've got these. All sorted out in there. The road is almost done. Just 2 more truckloads of gravel. And then that will be done. There's another thing that we could... well, yeah, I guess... oh. Oh, we started working on the wires as well. There we go. Right, but I wanted to select the intersection there. Actually, I suppose the easier way to do that would be just take this tool. Attach that. And that. I guess that one as well. Unfortunately, we can't place the stuff in here yet. So we'll worry about that later. But hey, at least some progress has been happening there. We are still selling a bit of boards, although not too much, but I don't want to add in too many vehicles over here because the customers is already somewhat swamped every now and then. With work that is. Okay, so how's the construction office is... oh, right, yeah, this one... well, I guess I could increase the search radius well, actually, I don't really want to increase the search radius yet. They've still got quite a bit of work to do. Well, okay, it's half a dozen things to do, but it's still a decent bit. But the road is underway, the wires are underway. I suppose we don't have any crew to work on the vehicle repair station, or the vet in this case. Right, so We've got a bit of power through there. We're going to have that connection going out there. I guess what we could do is we could start planning out a little bit of the housing areas in here. Let's go ahead and get some of the residential stuff in here. So which one do we want to use? There's a lot of options that we have. Police housing, that's only 16. That's 32. I believe that there's a... not that one. Hold on, that's probably a medium one then. And there's a shopkeeper housing that takes quite a bit of boards and gravel and a whole lot of time to build it. But that would have room for 70 workers with 82% quality of the flats. Which, to be fair, if we compare it to the best vanilla, I believe, is that... not that one. This one. It's got 87. And a lot of smaller... I mean, this one's a bit larger in footprint, to be fair. But let's go ahead and get... there's also the Tudor workers now, and that's 74% quality of flats, which isn't quite as good as one might figure from how the math works. Oh, we need to also get a road for the meat storage in here. So I guess we could remove a little bit more of that. I'll almost connect to that. Get the connection for the construction office. As well as for this road. So we can get to the meat storage. So that'll be good. At least we can store everything in here. And this one's going to have a fairly good capacity, all things considered. Let's go ahead and get the shopkeepers housing in here near the shop. I'm going to build it. Oh, right, this one we can place it anywhere we want. Okay, well, it can be a little bit cheaty then. But we can probably place it down there. Got a bit of room in here. I suppose we've got one children's playground already. We could probably put another one here somewhere. Let's have a look at... Well, I suppose the easiest way to do that is just copy it from here. Let's see. So that one's the... Is that the kindergarten? I think it is. It's only got one connection right now, so... It doesn't matter too much. Actually, if we put it in between here, we can still walk through there. It will actually extend the radius a little bit. So we'll plop that down. We'll go ahead and get a footpath from... I guess we could utilize that same connection in there. Make it a little bit easier to construct. We'll connect this one in here. That one can be connected there. So there's the shopping centre, essentially. We do have the footpath going through there already. That one doesn't... We actually kind of could use a footpath. I suppose we can utilize the footpath over here. Without too many issues. There we are. I guess potentially just walk these closer to the entrance. All for the town. So that's there. So we've got one more housing. So we've got two houses thus far. We've got this one. So that's going to be, I think, actually, how much is that in housing capacity? It's one of these, so it's 70 workers, so that's 140 workers total. That would already be enough for what we need. There's the wine house. I might put the, ooh. Well, actually, how bad is the, it's a bit downhill there. I wonder, is there, so under which are they actually put in the distillery? Is the vineyard? Okay, so that's in there. Is that... Ah, there we go. Food factories. We might get a orchard in here somewhere. Unfortunately, it doesn't really want to align properly. I figured I would. We could flatten the terrain in here, but it's going to be a little bit tricky. I think it might be better to have it in this side then. Technically speaking, we could... You know what? We could have it in here somewhere. That's going to be the orchard. We need to have a road connection with that, which, to be fair, it could actually just be in here. Wait, what are we crossing? I don't think we're crossing anything, but for whatever reason, it doesn't want me to place it down here. Okay, would want one there, but not on this side for whatever reason. Oh well. I guess what we could do is we could either take another road from here or just connect to this place. I guess that's not the worst thing. Let's break it in two. We can still put in some stuff. I suppose we'll go ahead and get one of the wine houses in here. Maybe even two. Admittedly, they're not producing wine in here, but we will probably get a vineyard as well. Actually, no, we've got one of these. Oh, actually, I've got an idea. There's the orchard barracks. These are a bit smaller. They don't have a particularly good quality or anything, but they're fairly cheap to and fairly quick to build as well. So we'll build... Ah, right, they do have at least a footprint, so that's good. We'll build two there. There's going to be a little bit more workforce in there, and I suppose what I can do... I can connect through there, this can be connected into, and then we'll have another footpath going through here. These two can connect into these. There we go, so that's... I'm not entirely sure what these two houses are going to be doing. I mean, I suppose just providing a bit of workers, I guess that's going to be good enough. We can go ahead and get a little bit of footpath through here. Then I suppose we might just, like, plant trees or something like that in here. But that's going to be our orchard, at least. Can we actually squeeze in a vineyard? I think we maybe could. Maybe not in that gap. I could put one there. Although, actually, can we squeeze it in this? Oh, we could, maybe. I suppose, why not? To get a bit of a road connection in here. Actually, we don't need to put it down yet. It's just, it's at least reserve the location there. These do not pollute anything. They don't have any input requirements. But if you know, they don't produce too quickly. But they are close enough to the town that they can basically have a constant production, even though not very large production. Oh, actually, at this point, it might be time for get the road in here. I suppose we can connect the road over there as well, just so that we can then get the footpath connection through here. Oh, are we getting stuck on something? I suppose that kind of works. At which point, do we need to have this footpath going all the way to there? I suppose it wouldn't actually hurt. So we can connect that one in here. Oh, I saw a node in the middle. Come on. There we are. And then we can connect this one probably all the way through that point. We could maybe put in a house over there. On the other hand, we probably want to have a bit of housing in here. Is that... right, that's the basketball and volleyball courtyards there. That's the elementary school. Right, let's just put in a bit of housing in there, actually. Do not brewers housing. Sure. Unfortunately, this one doesn't... well, that one ignores roads entirely. Or, like, the footprints. Actually, we could squeeze it in here. I wonder if that's going to be close enough to the shopping, though. If we'll have access to food or not. It will. Okay, good. I mean, technically speaking, as long as it has access to the bus platform, it can then get to the produce exchange. And I suppose if we got the brewers housing in there, we... Ooh. You know what? We're going to go ahead and put in the pub in here regardless. So that's residential stuff. Well, technically speaking, it's going to be a tavern. It works as an attraction, technically speaking, as well. It's going to be right next door to the clinic, so, you know, at least it's something. Get the footpaths in here. There we are. Then I suppose another thing that I could do. So we got the... hold on, it was over here, the library and club. That's going to be a little bit culture from there. We may need to have a bit more options for culture. So, for example, amphitheater. It's a bit larger in footprint. Can we actually squeeze it in here? I think we can. Sure. That's going to be another one. And then I suppose we can probably squeeze in maybe the small theater in somewhere as well as... So we've got one over there. I guess if we could one in this side of the town, it'd probably be fine. Also, I just realized we haven't connected this one in yet, nor do we have connected these two. So that's the garbage collection point. Well, one of them. There's going to be probably several more where that came from. Let's actually go ahead and put in another one in here. If we can actually fit it in here, it's going to be just about too tight. Unless we rotate... No. Guess, technically speaking, this could work. You know what, also get connection through there as well. There we go, so that's another one in there. So we've got at least some housing now. That's probably going to be enough to get started. So now the question is, of course, how quickly are we going to actually get to this point? We have gotten the road upgraded now, so let's go ahead and upgrade the last bit before the roundabout. Technically speaking, we could probably already start on the roundabout itself. We'll start on one side, then we're going to continue on the other one. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we do not actually go through this point at least. If we build that one, that's fine, because we still need to build the transformer over here and all that. That's fine. We have already spent about 150,000 rubles total. But this year, it's not actually been that bad. There's a bit of resources, of which steel is the majority. Concrete is also quite a large portion, now that I think of it. Like, percentage-wise, not really that much monetary-wise, though. So we don't really need to worry about getting our own concrete production. But it is something that we do want to get sooner or later. But the problem was, of course, that we only have... Oh! I know there's still a tunneling to be done there, never mind. So we did not really have a lot of good options for gravel nearby. Like, this was the closest one to the customs in here. So that's why we chose that one. Okay, but at least we got some of the power line production going. We got all the gravel for it already. Actually, that reminds me, how are we looking over here? Oh! Oh, right, we're getting the gravel for the vet. Oh, there we go. Oh, so we're down the groundworks there. Now we just need a whole lot of board and gravel. Okay, well, I suppose in that case... Do we still need to deliver wood in here? Honestly, I don't think we do. What we're going to do is we're just going to take... Is this the open holes? There's got 2 open holes here. So I'm going to switch your wood or board source to there. It may cause a little bit more traffic. But then also, actually, no. We're going to keep it in its current location, or the previous location first. We're going to stop delivering wood there. Which is this one? That's the open holes. Right, so the free open storage. Over here, we don't need to deliver everything. Just bricks, prefabs, and steel. We can still take the wood from there, but we don't necessarily need to deliver it in there any further. But there we are. So that's at least some things. And then we can utilize that one afterwards. So that's still going to be a decent bit of stockpile in there. And also, you know, reduces the capacity that we need to store in there. Although we might still keep the border stockpile portion over there, just so that we don't actually import too much bricks or steel. Well, bricks not so much of a problem. The steel could be an issue if we import too much of it. Oh, we've got almost 89 tons of crops over there at the silo, and another 4.5 tons in the farm. And looks like, oh, how many of these? Okay. Sowing is going on in several places. There's already at least 2 fields, 3, 4 fields growing. Which ones are there? I suppose these 2 are growing. That one's growing, and that one's growing. Okay, so it's mostly the small fields that we're working on. But at least there's something coming in from there. The vet is almost... well, no, it still needs quite a bit of resources, actually. We're halfway there with the gravel, and about a bit more than halfway with the boards. So it's still going to take some time. Of course, we're probably going to run out of the boards over here soon enough. But that's actually fine, because as soon as we run out of boards there, we'll just switch the location of it. Actually, let me go ahead and add in the notify if empty. So as soon as it's empty, we know, and then we're going to immediately switch the source for the board to there. Right, so these are actually not building anything. I guess we could actually already assign it to the veterinarian, so we can get that built. And I suppose another thing that we could build is the garbage stand over there. Get both of those assigned. And we're not going to start working on any of this yet. We don't really need it. I suppose the horse feeding station is one of those things that we might want to get sooner or later. I suppose another thing that I could do real quick is just get a few more road upgrades in here. Get those upgraded, then maybe get these roads upgraded, at least some of the roads upgraded in here. That will be mostly fine. Ooh, that might be the last truckload of board that we're taking. If that is indeed the board we are taking. And thus we're not getting quite all of it. And missing resource, there we go. So, now we can go and switch the target over there. Let me just double check. Okay, so yeah, that's the only one. That was changed there, that's good. Right, we've got plenty of gravel. This one actually hasn't been started yet. Get the resource construction office over there. Actually, what I should probably do is assign the construction office in here, and then go... Oh, wait, no. We can then assign that to its locations accordingly. So this one hasn't started yet, but I suppose the orchard... I'm going to go ahead and suspend that one for now. I have the vineyard over there. I suspect that we might have a few more. Actually, another thing that I could do... Let's have a look at the food. So there's the livestock farms. There's these... So there's a small cattle field that we probably want to place down. It's going to give us a little bit of income of cattle, and then we're going to use a smaller slaughterhouse or something to work that into meat for the town. Of course, this one's going to have it... Well, I suppose it's not going to be too bad. We can just place it down here somewhere. Go ahead and get a road connection to that point. And then we can get a footpath connection from here. Unfortunately, we need to have a road connection all the way there. But honestly, that's not going to be too bad. And I suppose, can we actually squeeze in the, like a smokehouse or something in here? We got some, so there's a slaughterhouse. Right, there we go. Smokehouse. But it's going to take a little bit of wood and livestock. It will pollute a tiny bit, but it's relatively small amount. So it's not going to cause too much issues. And we can probably just go ahead and place it in... Oh, actually, can we get this connection to... Oh, we can. Well. Go ahead and get a road connection in there. And then once we build that... So that's going to actually... Is this... It is within power's reach and water and sewage. So that's good. It's just... It's basically in the ideal location for it. It's as far away from the town within this area as possible. While still within the reach of the cattle field. Again, it's probably not going to have too much work going in there, mind you, but it's better than nothing. Also, something that I should probably make sure to do is over here, reduce the max workers from, or without construction office, to like 10. It's just, you know, when we build, right now they are still set to what they were, but in the future, we can limit the amount of the workers that go to those places if they are within walking distance. At least a little bit, but it's probably not going to be a huge difference in the end. Right, there's the garbage stand, still needs a bit more work done there. The veterinarian is waiting a little bit more gravel. But we can still do a decent bit of work in there, so I'm not too worried about that. We've got an extra crane over there still. I suppose another thing that I might want to do... So is this one... That one's got the digging crews. And they're still quite busy. Eventually they're not going to be too busy anymore, so I suppose what I could do at that point... Ooh, actually, there's not going to be enough room for those in here. We may need to build a second construction office sooner or later. I suppose, we might just build in a separate one over here. Oh, actually, we can just take those to a depot for a little bit while we build the thing. But the idea is that we'll want to... Well, actually, it might actually be worthwhile getting one of these digging crews in here, now that I think of it. At least for a temporary location there. Then build up a second construction office over here that we can then use for having the open holes and probably deliver the digging crews at least. Doesn't actually need to be a big one, but I suppose having it, the 12 vehicle one, wouldn't really hurt. That being said, I suppose we are going to move our construction office that is doing the... You know what, yeah, we can probably leave it in there for now. Since we are going to be removing these eventually, of course, but the workers are going to be moved into this construction office. And we actually need to place down another construction office over here somewhere. That's the horse feeding station. That does have a road connection there. Let's go ahead and get a new construction office over here. Now, we're not going to build this anytime soon. But we do want to have it as an option. So that's going to allow us to then utilize the gravel and everything else in here. So is that's the quarry? The pickup point for gravel is going to be there, and then there's going to be the concrete and asphalt plants out this way. You have the garbage stand over there, so that's good. At least we can, or we've planned some of that out already. We will need to build a harbor, or like a pier over here at some point. To be fair, I suppose we might be able to squeeze in this gap here. Let's see. Small ship dock. Oh no, it can't fit there. Well, we can put it further down this way, I guess. Question is, do we have a road connection to this? Oh, we're missing boards. Oh, right. You don't need to let me know any further. That's fine now. That was just for the one time. Okay, so the steel, we're still quite low, but I guess we're picking up the boards from here now. Probably quite a bit. Is that going to sell? That is going to sell there. Hey, we get 37 rubles per truckload now. Well, a wagon load, I guess. That reminds me, we should probably go... Did we get working on the... Oh, yeah, we did get working on these two. I guess we'll let them complete at least one of the roads first. Then we can go ahead and upgrade the one going to the depot. How's the vehicle's maintenance or wear and tear now? The biggest one is at 21%. That's not really that bad. We might want to reduce the repair threshold at some point, but right now we can't repair them anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. Now, have we done... No, we haven't quite done the digging for the power line in here. We've done a decent bit of work on it, but not quite there yet. But yeah, so we've got the vineyard, we've got the orchard. We might also get... Oh, actually. I know that there's another one. There's the... Great Vineyard. Which is actually going to produce a little bit more compared to the... Actually, hold on a minute. The orchard. Actually. With 20 workers, the orchard can produce half a ton of food. With 50 workers, the vineyard can produce 1 ton of food. Also takes a bit larger room in here, so... You know, actually the orchard is a better option. In fact, what we could even do... is put in a orchard expansion plot in here somewhere. But it will require the road connection. Oh. That ignores everything. Okay. Does that one ignores everything? Okay, this one does not ignore everything. That's at least kind of useful. But we could have potentially a second one in here. Or extension field over here. But I think we're just going to let that be. We might put in a bit of housing in here. For all we know. And the small cattle field can, I think, produce like 0.05 tons of livestock with 5 workers. So it's not a huge amount, but it's just going to be a little trickle to then turn into meat because we don't really need the meat that badly most of the time, I reckon. I don't think this is going to be enough for running the entire town, but at least offset some of the expenses. Although, you know, it will have a bit of a maintenance expense every now and then. Not massive, mind you, but still something. I suppose what I could do is actually, let's... No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to set these roads to be built somewhere down the line. We have gotten at least some of the gravel in here. Which are they... Why are they using that? Well, I suppose if that's the shorter distance... I don't know if it really is, to be fair. It might be just about. Because they can't really go any faster on the gravel road, so they'll just use the mud road. But regardless, at least that's there. How many fields are now growing? Most of them. There's the medium fields that are not growing yet, but we are actually fertilizing them, both of them. So we can start sowing those soon enough. And then I guess the first field to... Okay, the first growing field is at 34% right now. So that one. Make that 35 now. There's still quite a bit of crops to be harvested. We've got 121 tons now at the storage, so that's good. We may need to eventually get the road connection over there. It will improve it a little bit, but that's not a huge issue right now. How's the mine? Still needs a lot of concrete, steel, and boards. But once that is built, that's at least going to be pretty good for... I don't actually know. How much of it is iron ore going to be worth? It's 7.3 rubles. Gravel is actually about the same right now. But of course, once we process that to iron itself, that's going to be 13.4 rubles right now. And by the time we get to the processing, it's probably going to be like 20 rubles at least. So that's not too shabby. It ain't much, but it is at least an income. And of course, eventually we'll get the gravel shipping going. I mean, this is going to be a nice sort of avenue to just export through there. It's pretty much not quite as straightforward of a trade route as you can get to, but it's pretty close up there. So that's good. I think I'm going to go rename this one to Gravel Works. Bit of typo there, but there we go. So this is a bit of a steep hillside here. We might still put in a decent bit of housing in here, and probably a few more services dot out around. But it should be mostly fine. Because we still haven't... So we did put in the pipes at least in here, but of course we haven't gotten the footpath connection for here, for example. Which actually reminds me. Get this one underway. That one does need to be a little bit... I guess if we connect this one in here, it might be close enough, especially some housing in here, to get to the filtration land, and we can get these connected in there. We might, well, I don't know if we need to have a footpath connection through here at all. I suppose we might as well add it in as an option. There we go, so that's going to be a little bit more areas there. Let's go ahead and plan out a bit more housing. They're going to have a... maybe some of the smaller ones even. Let's see, so there's the police housing. Oh, right, actually, that's another thing that we haven't planned out yet. We don't necessarily need to have them active anytime soon, but we definitely have a... let's see, Tour Police, that's got parking slots for 6 vehicles. That's actually quite a few. That's 6, that's 4 over this one. This one's a bit larger. I think it doesn't quite fit with the aesthetics quite yet, or what we have in mind. I suppose, actually, we could have the police station in here, or police tables in this case. Gonna make sure that this one doesn't actually get built yet. But there's gonna be the police station. And then we're gonna have the... oh! Right, so we're gonna get the courthouse for sure. That's the wrong tab, to be fair. So courthouse. To the courthouse, we can have this one a little bit... I guess we could actually squeeze it in here. Ah, it ignores everything. Okay, well, in that case... we can probably squeeze it kind of pretty close to the building in here. Not quite touching, but fairly close there. So that's going to be a suspended construction, of course. We will need to have a footpath connection through this side to get to there, but that's something that we're going to work on. So that's the courthouse, and then we need to have a prison. It's not going to be a very large prison. Let's see. So the state infrastructure, there is the Tudor jail, which this one's a bit larger. He's gonna need to get some food and such. I suppose we could have it in here, or we could have it in this side somewhere, if it connects nicely. And then use these prisoners, for example, to run the ranch and maybe the slaughterhouse. I suppose it could also be on this side. Oh, we could get meat directly from there. I don't think we are going to put in that connection, though. Oh, but that is... Place that there. Get a road there. Let's go ahead and get some footpath connections in here. So we'll go ahead and... I guess we could actually go ahead and utilize a connection through here. I guess that'll work. Kind of. There's room for something in there. I'm not entirely sure. Because what we could do is we could put in another monument or something. Actually, we do have the windmill monument. It doesn't have a huge loyalty increase, but it does have a little bit. It would kind of feel, or be fitting to be next to the orchard. Although I suppose the orchard... Oh, that reminds me. We do need to get the windmill as well. That would be in the food production flour mill. That's the thing. So is that's going to be the meat storage. I don't suppose we can squeeze this in next to the warehouse. No, I don't think so. Oh, right, because there's that courthouse as well. Otherwise, it could potentially fit in here somewhere. Like, maybe on this side? let's have a look. If we move the courthouse away, and let's, I know that I've got the bulldozer listed on the hotkeys in there. Right, so let's try it again. Get the flour mill in here. We'll have to rotate that. Can we get it to link to the... No, probably not. Unless it's something like this. Like, it was for a moment showing it connecting. Okay, that would kind of connect with the road is getting in the way now. On the other hand, if we rotate this around again... hold on a minute. This way. Okay, let's give it a go. If we can get the factory connection, which I have that factory connection as one of the hotkeys in here. I do. Okay, that would be number 6. I've been needing that a lot over the years, so... That's not what I had in mind, I'll be honest. It's not what I had in mind. Okay, well... That's alright, I guess, in the end. So how far can you reach from there? There's going to be a little bit of housing, at least, that can actually reach this. Then we need to find another location for the courthouse, of course, which, let's get that plan out. I guess it could be... Oh, wait, no. Actually, yeah, somewhere over here might not be a terrible idea. Still has the yeah, it can reach all the things that it needs to, and it's going to be a little bit easier with the footpath connection to it as well. Which that reminds me, let's go ahead and probably just get this one a bit further down here. Get a footpath connection probably from that point onwards, and then we can probably go ahead and can we actually? Oh yeah, we could. Get some connections through there. So if we now have a look at the radius, it's going to have a lot more reach. Right, so we wanted to get some more housing. That was the thing that we were trying to do, but then we got distracted. There's the Tavern Keeper's residence. Stable has lodging. Ooh, actually, that's one of the things that we do not have here yet at all, is refueling, which, to be fair, we could probably put in on this side of the road. So let's get a horse feeding station. I guess that works. I want to have a little bit of room there, so there's potentially going to be several wagons waiting to get in there at some point. So I want to have just a little bit extra room. There we go, so that's a bit more. We might need to have room for a distribution office or two over here at some point, but that's not a huge problem quite yet. So that's the footpaths in there. I guess we'll eventually get to those. Did we get the road over here started? Not yet. This one's waiting for a digging crew. And did we get the... Oh, well, the wire is almost dug out, at least. Oh, and they started the second half already. Okay, well, I suppose that's good enough. How's the... Oh, right, that one's built. And this one's going to have probably a decent bit of construction waste. So we'll put at least 8 containers for that. Oh, we got all the resources for the iron mine. Now just need another 3,000 work days. We're not going to get a huge amount of work there done. Oh, right, and speaking of which, let's go ahead and get the... Is that one... covered hole? Yeah, so those need to deliver some stuff in here. We can unload... Technically speaking, yeah, we can unload crops there. I don't think we actually need the crops, mind you, but we can unload it in there. Then there's going to be the plastic... we don't need the electronics, to be fair. So we'll put everything else but the electronics. And we need to start importing now the components, both of them. Then plastics. What else was it? A fabric, right. So that's going to deliver some of the stuff. And then we've got another one over here, which is the open holes. These are going to start delivering, well, mostly, I guess, the steel over there. Steel. Technically speaking, wood might be okay, but I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be working. And are we... Yeah, we've got plenty of boards waiting in here. So how much are we thus far in this year? We sold for 4,000 rubles already. Last year we got a total of 5.2. It's only about 1/3 of the year done, so we're probably going to get pretty good results in here overall, I would say. And there's, okay, there we go. That's a bit more income there. I suppose the crops are definitely taking the lead in there. I mean, we've exported a bit more in tonnage, but they also pay a lot more per ton. I mean, actually, let's have a look. How much is the difference in there? So boards we get 11.3, and crops we get 18.4. So yeah, there is a quite significant difference in there. Of course, now that we're importing the fertilizer, which I believe we might... No, actually, the fertilizer truck is not waiting there yet. It probably will be eventually, but not yet. So that's going to allow us to then keep on farming the fields a lot faster. Or the wait time between the sowing and harvesting and all that is going to be a bit less. Or after the harvest, rather, I suppose. But yeah, all the fields are now growing. I'm guessing we still got quite a bit of... Yeah, we've got a little bit of crops in there, but actually not that bad. We managed to harvest most of it. We've still got 160 tons of crops there, and a lot of that is being sold. Right, so we've got that. Let's... Ah, right. Alright, the digging crews are over here. Right, but this one's actually pretty idle. Let's go ahead and upgrade the road over there. And also, I suppose once we are starting to get some of the resources in here... How bad is the worst vehicles right now? It's not really that bad in the end. 22%. So we don't need to actually get any workers there yet. And we can easily afford upgrading the road over there in the meanwhile. We might also upgrade some of the roads up here eventually. So I suppose... I don't know if we'd need to upgrade the road going all the way up here. It probably wouldn't hurt, especially later on. But right now, we don't really have anything that benefits that much from the gravel road, other than the fact that when there's rain, we can move faster. But the rains don't usually last too long. So it's more of an inconvenience, especially since most of the time it won't then impact the speed. It does reduce the amount of wear and tear I think the vehicles take when they're driving on gravel instead of mud, but again, it's not really that bad in the end. So at least we need to worry about it too much right now. It's probably going to be, if we start working on more stuff there right now, it's going to be distracting us from the main thing, which is to get to the town in here. I want to get the road upgraded. I suppose this one's... We can get the construction office over here already. And it might get some stuff immediately, or almost immediately anyway. This one's getting some of the gravel now. There we go. I suppose the gravel loading is a little bit on the slow side still. And we have emptied this from any boards. That's fine. Bricks and panels and steel, we still got a decent chunk in there. I suppose at some point... Well, I suppose we've got that one already for the board at least. We might need to set up a more permanent storage in here. I mean, this one's okay. And actually... Oh, did I... Hold on a minute. Right, the storages, they are actually free. There is no limits on how many you can have. So it doesn't actually hurt having that there, but, you know, I suppose, is that... It doesn't require any maintenance, so I'm guessing it can't also catch fire. Of course, the storage capacity is a bit limited. Maybe we can go ahead and reassign these. So we'll maybe go for, like, 30% on the steel, 20% on the prefab panels. We'll go for 50% of the stockpile into bricks, and then all the boards can be removed entirely. That's going to cost us a little bit extra in import of resources, but at least at the same time, that's going to allow us to have a lot more stuff there. So the one downside of these open storages, or free open storages, of course, is they do not have access to, well, the factory connections. There's no factory connections to those. So we won't be able to use, like, road depots or whatever have you to take the resource or bring in the resources from there to increase the capacity of vehicles that can be at the same time. But that's not really the end of the world. Alright, so this gravel is underway there. How are we doing on the... So we've got the digging crew. This one's working on what exactly? Alright, I think we got both of them still on the wires here. Yeah, we do. Well, never mind then. We'll get to all through those eventually, I hope. Yeah, I suppose eventually we want to have the construction office over here to utilize the stuff from there. All the, like, concrete, asphalt, and gravel, of course. Getting eventually some cement production wouldn't be too bad either. But the initial cement production building is a bit on the expensive side. Although, also, I do apologize for the ads, but it's just, It is what it is. Right, so this... Oh. Right, brick firing kiln. So we can actually get bricks through board as well because of the modded building in here. Which does reduce the need for coal mine from the get-go. There's also another one, or another version. That one pollutes a lot more, but also produces a lot more stuff. So actually, no, this one's not as effective ratio there, actually. Although if we compare the brick firing kiln in version 2 over here, so it's basically 3 times the wood required, and tonnage of wood required to make the same amount of bricks compared to that. So we might get something like this in here. I mean, technically speaking, if we were to get a brick firing kiln in here and get a wood cutting post over here somewhere, like it would still be. Hopefully, actually, where's the? Okay, there's the platform. So if we were to get a thing over here, we could also start producing our own bricks to some degree. I mean, it's not necessarily a huge priority, but it would be nice to have, admittedly. And we got some asphalt mixers as well. These are going to be quite cheaper, but you need to basically truck everything in there, so it's going to be like a lot more work in the long run. Although it's a lot cheaper to get started. Right, so the cement plant. We actually have a tiny cement factory now with the mod. A small cement plant, but the vanilla ones, they take a whole lot of gravel and coal, take a lot of power and pollute quite a bit. And they are fairly sizable. So we might go for something a bit more modest, like this one is actually... Oh wow, that is actually tiny. Now that would require access to some gravel still. So we might want to put it on this side, for example, but is that going to be then close enough to a footpath connection? I suppose the question is, can we get a footpath underneath here somewhere? We can get through there, which I guess is going to be good enough. Like if we have a look at... Oh, yeah, we could get through there. And then we can connect through here as well if need be. So we've got some options there. Not necessarily going to work on any of that yet. But we've got the options there. Let's see. So that road hasn't been built yet. We have done the digging for the power line at least. Now we need to get some more components there. Where's the digging crew now? It's probably being picked up. Oh, it is over here. Okay, there we go. So that road is going to get built. Very good, very good. How's the mine looking like? It's still 2,900 workdays, so it's going to take a while. It's going to take a few whiles, actually. Okay, so we got the... Oh, we are starting to get stuff for the road over here as well. There we go. So slowly but surely we'll be working through here. We do want to get the power transformer... Oh, right, that actually reminds me. Oh, yeah, that works fine. We got the power lines already placed down then. So that's good. A bit of workers going to... Well, actually, most of these are heading towards the mine. I suppose it's trying to fill them in percentage-wise. So that is going to get some more, even though the percentage in here means that they are splitting evenly. But it's alright. It can be sometimes a bit confusing. So we've got 3 workers at the woodcutting post and 3 at the sawmill. Now, to be fair, we've got quite a bit of trees around. We've got 40,000 tons of wood in the forest and 700 tons already cut down. Right. We might want to plant some more trees around here, actually. I'm going to do a bit of a mixture, so we're not going to have just one type of tree really in this entire patch. Have a bit higher biodiversity. Get some jungle trees in there. There we go, so that's going to provide a bit of extra area to cut down later on. Plus, I suppose we might be cutting down some trees from the Soviet side of things. At least we did plant out a lot of trees there. I don't... We can't see through there too well, but I think there is some... Oh yeah, there's definitely some trees cut down there. Well, they'll never suspect a thing, right? There's no one tell them. There we go, so that road is going to be done fairly shortly. Do we have the digging crew in here? Nope. So the other one is still probably doing the digging for the power line. Yes, but it is almost done, actually. So that's good, and then that should be reappearing back in here, which means that it's going to be fairly easy to pick up and then deliver to some other location. And there we go, that road has been built. I suppose another thing, are we... Well, we've got a lot of vehicles here doing nothing currently. I guess we could go ahead and start upgrading another bit of road. We haven't started working on any of that yet. I suppose since the... Yeah, the research radius is a bit slow or small. Yeah, all dead trees for that matter. Right, let's go ahead and a bit of things there. Let's actually go ahead and put in a few bushes there as well. Strawberries. Don't see their name on there. Yeah, sure. They do have a bit of a symbol there, but that doesn't count, right? I mean, it's more on the road, isn't it? Rather than the trees. Yeah, so we should be able to get the... Actually, is it going to be delivered in here? Not yet, at least. Okay, so where is the... Oh, no, the digging crew is still waiting in here. Where's the other crew, then? Is that going to be delivered here somewhere? That one doesn't have any vehicles heading in there, so I guess not really. They must be going somewhere. Question is where? So it's not there. Where's the bloody vehicle from here then? It's going for the construction office. It's got... Oh, it just got picked up the thing from there. Okay. No, I think from there anyway. So it's heading in. I suppose after that it's going to deliver one of the digging crews to one of the sites. How's the wear and tear now? It's still 23%. So it's not too shabby. We've got a roundabout. Eventually I might actually remove the bushes from here. Well, I suspect that the wood cutting is probably going to just clear them out eventually. Then we might actually build a fountain in there. The medium one doesn't quite fit, but there's some of the round fountains. Well, one of these in here, for example, could be nice. It will have access to water from there, although it probably doesn't require too much. It will have access to power. Well, you know, it would look nice on the middle of the roundabout in there. Can we actually... So that's even smaller. It's a medium one. Actually, is there... Aha! With the medium, so we can switch to the side. Okay, so they've got the same footprint on all of them. And then there's big fountain. There's a rectangular fountain. We could also just build one over here, for example. Or maybe we could even squeeze two of them in. Probably not, actually. It's just about too tight for it. It would be overlapping a bit too much. Okay. Alternatively, we could build the windmill. Although, admittedly, with the amount of windmills that we're building in here, you might think that we're in the Netherlands. Although the temperature might be a little bit different. And almost as rainy, is what I hear. Okay, so there's the more crop sales. How are we looking on this year total exports? We've already done over 5,000. Alright then. Of which it's about 60% is from crops and 40% from the boards, so it's not too bad. We are exporting a little bit mixed waste, which admittedly isn't very high profit. It's not the end of the world. We might also go ahead and utilize some of this area for Soviet Dutch border. Yes, something like that. I mean, to be fair, we're kind of in a jungle map, so it could be that we are... Could be in Indonesia, maybe? Or it could be like Amazon or something like that. I mean, well, I suppose there's the Dutch Guiana at least, but I don't know who's going to be the other side then. But these borders are a bit interesting, as the Soviets are to the west and the south, and then the NATO are to the north and the east. But at the same time, the sun rises and sets to the east, so, you know, it's not necessarily meant to be that sort of... But at the same time, it kind of makes sense that the Soviets are on the left hand of the map, and the NATO are on the right hand of the map. So in that regard, it does actually make sense. But it's, you know, it's a little bit funny, in a way. Right, so did we ever get the... Oh, no, we didn't build this one. Well, that can be built quite easily. Then we can start getting some fuel and crops in there. We might remove this one, or just stop giving that crops, essentially. We might allow that to be empty, actually, entirely. So we use that for the fuel to provide into here. And then we can just remove that one. And that way we might build something else in there. Maybe, actually, do we have a demolition office here? No. I don't think so. The demolition office could be quite useful if we can squeeze it in there. Because we are going to need one sooner or later. But it's probably not going to, hopefully not going to get used too often. So how much do... Oh, right, so another thing that I didn't notice is... So these are definitely kind of like rice plants and whatnot. Admittedly, I don't have the details on full, so it's not necessarily going to give an accurate view. But yeah, there definitely seems to be a lot of water on the fields and all that. So it kind of makes sense. Although, judging by the fact that we're kind of on the steep hillside in here, it would have to be some sort of terrace farm. To be fair, terrace rice farms, that's nothing new. That seems quite natural. But they just don't have the sort of proper steps there. Yeah, we should have a fairly good amount of harvest underway here. And how much are the... Oh, right, there's one already at... So there's 2 fields already over 90%. So we'll be up to harvesting soon enough again. Okay, so we still haven't gotten through the roads in here. Have we gotten at least the... No, we don't have the digging crews here yet either. Where did we get the... Oh, because these haven't been assigned to it. Well, that might explain a thing or two. I guess we can get those 2 underway. I guess we could also go ahead and start searching from a bit further away. Similarly, I suppose we could increase this one's search radius. How much? So it won't reach too far. I guess I could increase this manually. Like, let's put in like 1,250. So it should be just about enough to pick up these. And then we're going to increase that in small increments until we're ready to start building the town itself. Of course, what I might want to do... I'm going to go ahead and start upgrading the road through here. It's going to take a while before we get through all of that. I guess let's go ahead and connect these 2. And we'll then upgrade that. Basically, upgrade all the roads in here. Actually, I suppose it would be easier to just draw in all of that. I believe that's going to be all the roads in there. And is there... I suppose there's these roads still. There we are. So that's going to be all the roads made into gravel roads already, so we don't need to worry about upgrading them later on. And then similarly, I suppose we could do something in here to upgrade these roads. And that... Oh, right. We never actually connected the... Or did we connect this road somewhere? Oh, no, that's the housing. That's the pub. Okay, so it is connected accordingly. These have already been set to be built in gravel, so that's good. Initially, we can use the trucks to bring in the water and all that. Actually, that reminds me. We need to have the technical service and all that. Let's have a look. We will have power in here. We'll probably go with a bit smaller technical service, to be fair. So we need to... Oh, right, it doesn't really want to work in here. We'd have to do a bit of terraforming to get it work there. Alternatively, I could... Maybe utilize this side? I don't know if that's going to be much better. No, not really. This is too steep over here. So I guess it's going to be terraforming time soon enough. Oh, we do actually have a digging crew available. That makes life a little bit easier. Okay, the technical service over there. This is going to be providing some help with the trash collecting. And I suppose we'll also need to... So trash collecting and bringing water and all that. Of course, we do have the sewage stuff over here. Oh, actually, that reminds me. I should probably get the sewage unloading station in here. Somewhere. You know what, actually... Oh, we don't have excavator available right now. Well, that's... Oh, well, well, we can make it work there. This can probably be a fairly small one. Connection in there. The idea is that we could use this one to deliver manually some of the sewage away. Eventually, and that should be within power. Yes, it is within power. Good. That's good. Ah, there we go. The roadworks have started. We are getting a little bit work done on the roads there. And how we're looking on the... Right, so both the digging crews are already out. Are they? They've got a few things that they're working on, mostly roads. There's some of the wires, which of course we haven't built yet. Of course, we could do those now. Let's get that one built, for example. And maybe the other one as well. Well, I mean, you know... shoveling dung and all that. Okay, so the bus platform is at least getting a few workers over there. We are still getting a... Okay, we're down to 2,900 workdays on the Iron Mine. It's still going to take it forever to build it. So we're just going to let it slowly being built. And of course, eventually we'll start having a bit more steady... Oh, actually, another thing that we will need in here somewhere is a bus end stop. Can we get one squeezed in? That's probably in the depots. Oh, there's a wagon depot. Wagon slot for 7. Question is that going to be an end station? No, it's probably not a bus end station. So, something like this, but the question is where can we squeeze it in? I guess it could be over here as well. Maybe. Aha! There we are. The idea is that we can utilize that one to then have a spaced bus line going from the town down to here to provide some workforce for the mine and all that. Eventually we might get something slightly better than just having buses running in there. I mean, what's the best wagon that we have available right now in terms of bus capacity? So it's the 4-horse one. It's got 20 passenger capacity, so it's, you know, it's not the worst, but it's also not very quick. It's got 22 kilometers top speed, which is actually one of the fastest vehicles that we have right now. But yeah, it's not great. My goodness, we're already in July. I think we'll probably continue at least to January. We'll see how's the energy levels at that point. If I'll continue another half a year or not. Right, so the technical service, I suppose they don't need to worry about the winter maintenance at all. Because there's not going to be any maintenance during winter. So there we go, there's the road underway. It's a bit more work, but it'll be completed soon enough. That road is already underway. And we have another 2 bits of the roundabout that we'll need to build. So I suppose we could already queue up in there. Oh, there we go, we build the power line over there. That's good. That reminds me, is there any other things that we could build up with the construction office over here already? Yeah, they don't have any other things that they're working on right now. They could help with the mine, but that's going to be very expensive. So I'd rather not do that. So honestly, there's probably not that many things that they need to do right now. Which is going to save us a bit of money in the foreign workforce at least. Oh, there's another rain. Right, how are we looking on this year thus far? So, half a year in, ooh, almost 6,500 rubles already from the exports. Now, to be fair, there's been quite a bit import, but of that, more than half of it is just the steel. So, if we don't need to buy too much steel, actually, once we get working on the city, we'll actually need a relatively small amount of steel in the end. So, that's not necessarily that bad of a situation then. We might utilize this for some utility things as well over there, actually. So we got the technical service over there. I wonder if we should... well, eventually we need to set up some sort of a trash processing area. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be... I suppose it could be further over here as well, but that's going to be a bit longer distance, to be fair. So we might want to have at least some sort of stockpiles somewhere maybe over here. Far enough from the town that it shouldn't cause too many health issues, but close enough so that we can set up the things there accordingly. Let's actually have a look. Waste. So the transfers, I'm kind of thinking that I want to have one of these as a access point. Well, I guess we can utilize this. That's going to be within reach. That's good. So get that one, and then we've got a couple of these smaller dumps in here. I guess we can put one there. Another one over there. Could, technically speaking, squeeze them a little bit closer, but I guess that's going to be good enough. And then maybe one over here. This way, at least we can do the factory connections, at least the gravel portion of the factory connection, a little bit easier. And then I guess what we can do, so how many do we actually need? Let's see, waste. Right, it's the mixed waste, but that doesn't tell the entire truth. Oh, actually, I know that we can check that here. So we are going to need one for hazardous waste, at least. Biological waste probably wouldn't hurt to have. We're going to get some of that, I think. Oh, actually, are we... We are setting the biological waste to be gathered in here, right? Yes, we are. Okay, good. So that's good. We got some of that stored out there, then... So if there's hazardous biological... construction waste for sure. Metal and aluminum probably wouldn't hurt either, so that'd be probably one set of 3. Then biological hazardous and maybe plastic, and then just have a bigger dump for mixed waste. That could probably work. So, let's, I could connect some of them on this side, to be fair. Or just, you know, utilize all of this. Think about this. Right, so we want to have... Well, we don't actually need to have one for everything, but it probably wouldn't hurt to have them. So if that's going to be some connections over there... We'll probably have a... Well, let's go ahead and figure out some of the road connections from the get-go. Before we get too far ahead. Going to be some connections there. We'll chop that into another piece. We can probably continue this road along here. And get this road connection to that gap. And then let's get back to the waste management. So I want to have another big transfer for a few more things then. Which I suppose, technically speaking, we could squeeze it in this gap. Yeah, I think we're going to work with that. And then we'll go ahead and put in a few more dumps, just the small ones in here. Doesn't need to be connected to more than just this transfer in here. And we can go ahead and utilize... oh, if we connected that one, that's going to cause some issues. Maybe we'll just go ahead and utilize the road in here. Might not be the easiest to drive on. I think that's going to be okay. We can probably go ahead and connect in here. Can we... Yeah, we can straighten it up a little bit. I don't have the snapping on right now, so that might cause some funny business every now and then, but that's alright. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a... one more connection through here. To there, and I suppose what I could even do is just get another road connection through that area. So there's a way to go around that. We might put in another few distribution offices, or maybe not distribution offices yet, but like a couple more technical services and all that. We'll of course need to connect to a lot of these, so that's everything but the mixed waste. For the mixed waste, I might actually... You know what? How big is the... So there's the small one with the... that's 130 tons, that's 80 tons. We want to probably have the claw machines on this. So that would require some power connection, which we could utilize there. At the same time, how much is that? Okay, that would be a large one. That's 350 tons. Ooh, could we squeeze it in here? I think we can. So this is going to be the mixed waste. And for that, we might want to have a slightly easier road connection in here. Just going to go ahead and get a road connection to this area. We'll probably have it actually run a little bit down that way. So that's now... We'll suspend that construction, because we don't actually need to go in here yet. But this is just future-proofing some other area in here. That's going to be a decent bit of waste management. We might put in the waste burner in here somewhere. Or incinerator. And then we might utilize more of these areas later on with that in mind. But that's going to be at least the mixed waste over there. We do need to set up a... I think we might put in a bigger... or another technical service in here somewhere. Let's see... So that would be... That'd be 15 vehicles, that's 4, so we can probably go with the basic 8 vehicle one in here. That should be fine. Right, we've gotten a bit more work done on the roads here. That's getting some work done in there. This one's been assigned already. So that's good. Both of them are actually already assigned to that. This one's getting some gravel. Is that getting the digging crew? Not yet, at least. It might be the truck that just delivered. Is that? No, that's a dumper. Okay, never mind. That reminds me, so we haven't gotten the gas station over there yet. We are going to have another gas station over here. I don't know if we should have another gas station somewhere along the road here. Probably wouldn't hurt, actually. We've got the connection over there, so let's go ahead and just get another horse feeding station in here. These luckily do not require any power, so these got to be quite easy to set up and maintain. So we'll just build one there. And that should get assigned already. That's the buses and road crew. Oh, wait, right, so it's already assigned the 2 in there that I wanted to. And that one is not auto-searching, so we know that that's not going to get randomly assigned to anything. We did get these roads already, that road. I suppose another thing that I could do, maybe not quite yet, but eventually we'll start upgrading some more roads in here. But current situation, we got on 1 firefighter in here. But we do have a firefighter, which I suppose is more than can be said for some other places. Do we have any... We don't have any waste within reach. We might want to put in some sort of waste collection in here. I guess, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get the footpath over here upgraded first. Then we're going to... Well, actually, we can also go ahead and start working on a... Probably just a small garbage collection point in here. If we're going a little bit further back in here, it's not going to connect to the iron processing plant. That should be alright. Is this... Okay, we can still access to these footpaths there. Good, that's good. Something like that. Right, we've got plenty of wood. We've got pretty good amount of boards. How much do we have? Oh, we've got 7,500 rubles worth of exports already. And crops are definitely the king in there. I mean, by quite a bit. Admittedly, the exports are not even paying for all the manpower that we need. But at the same time, the crops exports, we still got 150 tons of crops waiting in here. That ain't too bad. How bad is the wear and tear at this point? We've got 25% on some of the vehicles, so we might want to just take those to be repaired soon enough. We might assign this one to get a few workers, like maybe 3 will do. You know what, we'll just go ahead and sign it already. So it might get a few workers into there, and then we can go ahead and start repairing a few vehicles here at a time. We can just bring in like a 1 vehicle at a time. Some of the ones that actually... How old are the oldest ones? 2.5 years. Okay, so they're not that old, admittedly. But they are definitely in need of repairs. Okay, that's going to require another truckload of gravel, but that's going to be another bit of the roundabout then done. And little by little we'll have this stuff sorted out, and there's most of the traffic is still going along the mud road though, which is not exactly ideal. I guess it's okay, and it's raining again. No surprises there. Okay, so we have... Ooh! Okay, it's 2nd of August, but we have made a small profit this month. And actually, last month, we only had a deficit of 100 rubles. To be fair, we didn't have to import a whole lot of stuff, but that's still pretty decent, I would say. Like, we're paying almost for all of the manpower that we need right now. And we actually are still getting some money. Is there anything else that we could export? I mean, maybe some of the wood, but I don't know if that's going to be a good idea, let's be honest. I mean, how much would we get from wood? About 9.5 rubles, compared to the 13.5 from boards. So the boards are still a more effective way of exporting right now. At least the tonnage and money that we get from it per trip is going to be... or the money per tonnage, rather, it's going to be better, because the... Well, we could potentially increase the volume. There is always a risk that will then start causing too much issues. Let's actually... Ah, there we go. So if we add the UI, we can actually see if there's anything in there. Right now, it's a little bit unfortunate location there, but that's all right. It happens. Let's bring in a bit more wood. Actually, how much... oh, yeah, we've got plenty there. We've got plenty of the sawmill. And we've got plenty at the open store. Okay, so wood-wise, we're pretty decent. Rather self-sufficient, admittedly. So we should be getting at least a few workers for the veterinarian. I guess, do we have the dumpers in here? That's open hole, that's open hole. That is an open hole as well. Some of these are 23%. They're not really that bad in terms of maintenance here, but I guess what we could do is to take like one of these, send it over there, repair it. These two are still probably in a fairly good shape. But like we can start to already go through some of the repairs, so we can do it little by little. It's going to be quite a micro-intensive, admittedly, but we can eventually we can just get a vehicle in here, to be fair. But they won't have any to repair for a good while. Well, that went. Oh, right, that's the fertilizer wagon. Luckily, the fertilizer is almost free. How much? If we were to sell the fertilizer, if we get 1.6 rubles per ton, how much is it worth purchasing it? Or how much do we need to pay for it purchasing? Fertilizer, 1.8 rubles per ton. So with one trip, it's going to be costing us. Was it? Yeah, it's 3.6 tons. So that's still like 7 rubles per truckload. We'd probably pay more for the crops for the wagon, and even those aren't really. Well, actually, no, we're probably not paying that much for the crops because it can do like maybe 2 trips before we need to refuel, and it takes like 20 liters, technically speaking, of fuel, so that's like 0.02 tons of crops per refueling, or something like that. So, not very high, admittedly. I suspect that this feeding station is having quite a bit of traffic in there. Also, how's the work coming along here? We haven't gotten the gravel there yet. I suppose the roads are taking the priority, which, to be fair, that's good enough, I guess. We can still do a bit more work in here on some of those, but we are now starting to slowly approach the town. We haven't assigned. No, that has actually been assigned already. Oh, right, because we increased the search radius to 2 kilometers over here. Okay, so it's got quite a few things, actually. A whole lot of roads. But luckily, they won't deliver the digging crews until there is some gravel being brought in, I think. I could be mistaken, but I think that's going to be the case. So there's resources. How's the... Oh, right, there we go. There's a bit more fertilizer again. How much do we have? We've got a fairly good stockpile already in here. And have we started harvesting? We have harvested at least one of them. And now... Oh, we're already doing that. Okay. So we fertilized that already. This one's almost fully grown. Oh. Right, these are fully grown already. So, having that one harvester might not actually be enough this time around. Yeah, we probably just needed to get a bigger farm, to be fair. Well, I guess it's good enough for now. That's a bit more wood there. That's the one exporting, so we get now 39 rubles per truckload. Also 37, oh, 40 now. Okay, but yeah, it's slowly, very, very slowly, mind you, but it's climbing up the price. And we can get some more cash through that way. So last month was a 100 ruble deficit. Right now we're looking at about 100 profits, but of course we're only halfway through the month. But we are still selling quite a bit. We're not importing all that much, especially we don't need to import a lot of steel currently. That's the main thing. We do still need to import some gravel and things like that, but it's not really that bad. And we can probably get our own crops from here, so we don't need to worry about the refueling cost all that much. Admittedly, it feels a little bit cheaty not having to buy a lot of fuel, but, you know, it is what it is. Well, I think we're not going to touch oil production until, or like oil production, especially exporting oil, until we get to like 1930s. Gives a bit of time for us to set up some stuff before we start making a whole lot of money potentially from oil. Actually, right, so I do believe there was some oil locations. I can still, you know, kind of have a look at the places. Not going to build, well, I suppose we got the iron mine that we are building, but it was somewhere over here. Oh yeah, there's oil. Well, that's on a different island. There wasn't any oil over here, was there? Not there. I believe one of the lakes did have. I just don't remember which one. Nothing over there. Oh, wait, was there a... Oh yeah, there's oil over there. There we go. There's a bit far away, though. Not within our reach right now. And this was definitely a place I really want to dig a channel through, just so we can have ships sailing through there, and then accessing this area. And also, I suppose there was a coal mine location down here. Yeah, it's not actually the best, but it's decent, I would say. I believe there was another coal mine location... No, it wasn't there. Was it on this hill, perhaps? It's a bit of a wide hill, admittedly. So much so that I'm kind of tempted to, at some point, maybe build some sort of a settlement up here on a hillside. The question is, is there anything to mine along there, I guess? There could still be things that we don't know about, like bauxite or uranium. So that's the main two things that we don't know where they are located. Of course, we got the iron mine already in here placed down. It's going to be a decent... Well, right now, if we were to place a second one, it wouldn't really have a lot of quality. There's room for another iron mine in here. And this one's... Oh, wow, that's actually really good quality in there. Alright then, so we might use this just to export the iron, or we can probably transport that into some places. We might also go ahead and put in... That's going to be pretty long distance. We might put in another accurate loading harbour in here and export the iron. We could potentially even... Well, it might require us to remove a few buildings here and there, but we might be able to put in some engines in here to get just one heck of a long... we might need to remove that farm as well, but we can get a one heck of a long conveyor belt to bring in the iron here for our storage, and then just export through that. So we've got some options here for sure on what to do, but I haven't quite decided what exactly we're going to be doing yet with all of that. I don't plan that far ahead. No, we've got 50 tons of gravel there. We've got still a pretty decent amount of resource over here. Technically speaking, we could utilize these to export some boards. Sure. I'm going to leave this at like 20%, so we don't export all of it. But we can export a bit more, so we can, you know, if they've got nothing else to do, might as well earn some cash for us. How's the iron mine? Okay, we've gotten another 70-ish work distance there. I think it's been 64 since the last time we checked, but it's still an improvement. We've got another bit of road done. That one's waiting for gravel to be brought in, I presume. Yeah, there's two dumpers heading in there. And then this one's waiting for more gravel as well. It's starting to be a bit of a long distance, mind you. Now, technically speaking, what I could do... I could go ahead and put in traffic signs over here, I think. Or can I? Hold on a minute. Nope, we can't put in the signs over there. Never mind. Okay, well, I was wondering if there's a way for me to try to force the... Well, probably not. But try to force the vehicles to use the gravel roads, just so that they can move a bit faster along the way. We have not gotten the gravel for the horse feeding station yet either. If we do have a look at the construction office down here, it's got a decent bit of things to build. It's got some footpaths as well that is started. Oh, these two. Right, that makes sense. Still got two more roads as well. I'm guessing the... Yeah, no, these are not building anything yet. I suppose we will eventually get to those. Oh, right, we of course need to get the small garbage collection point there, but that's, again, not really a priority. We're not building any of this processing area here yet, because it's going to take a lot of time to build it. So it's probably better for us to just honestly wait until we are ready to start using our own workforce in here. It's going to be a bit of a long distance to get the workers in there. I do actually wonder, would it be possible for us to get a... Well, I suppose we could utilize the road over here. Ooh. If we were to get a road from this point... How bad is the... Okay, we are going a little bit uphill. We'll get that connection. We got all the roads in here. We could... Kind of just follow along from this bit of road. Got the high ground road over here. So it's going to be a small shortcut. We might not have it go directly in here, but we might kind of connect to this road, maybe? That's the gas station there, so that would kind of make sense to connect somewhere near to that. Also, that reminds me, we should probably go ahead and upgrade the road in here into gravel already, before I forget. If we were to get this one down there somewhere, maybe start going a little bit downhill already. Do I connect to that one, or do I suppose I could connect into there, or... Actually, I've got a better idea. I don't know if it's really a better idea, but I've got another idea. There we go. Now, it won't be accessing these areas yet, but that's going to be a bit of a shortcut through here. So especially once we bring in the bus-loaded workers, that's going to be close to the end station. So that's actually useful. And then it's not going to be too far away from the bus stop or bus platform over there. It's a little bit of distance, but it's manageable, I would say. And actually, what I could even do is I could have both of these. One connection go off to here somewhere. I think we can probably go ahead and split that in two. There we go. So when they're coming back, they'll go to the end station, and then once they're coming from the bus platform, they don't need to go all the way there. They can just utilize this one. That's going to be for the workers coming for the mine and all that. And really, at this point, we might want to then get the bus stop maybe further up here. I suppose it could work. I'm not entirely sure if I want to place it down there yet. Alright, so we got the concrete mixer. Well, let's just go ahead and... Oh, the concrete mixer, the concrete hauler. We'll go ahead and assign that to be repaired. It should be going fairly quickly. Like, it's... yeah, it's going pretty quickly indeed. I think these 3 workers will actually be able to do that already. But then we can just send it back to be... Like, it's been fully repaired. It won't be needing repairs for a few years at least. We'll go ahead and send it back there. Anything else over here that is at least 25%? Not really, no. Unless... No, that's also 6%. Okay, so both of those are fine. What about these vehicles? Since they are not active right now, this could probably be repaired. And there's that one that's 16%. 0% and 3%. We've got another one over here, the cranes, that's 13%. And we've got an open hole truck over there, which is a bit... Oh, it has been a bit busy, so we might not want to repair that one yet. Well, I suppose that this road will probably make it so that it's not going to have a heavy cargo in there. It's only going to be for buses and such, so it's, well, buses and tractors and such, I guess. So maybe if we just limit this distance over here to not be for... I suppose, let's actually have a look at the signs. So there is the no heavy goods vehicles. There is, yeah, no motor vehicles, no buses. Well, buses we are going to have go through here. And agricultural vehicles. So I suppose it's just the heavy goods vehicles that we want to limit through here. I think that's going to be probably good enough. We do now have access to some of these areas at least. And this one, it has been already assigned. It does have enough space. Yeah, so both of these are just about long enough to utilize the digging crews in there. That's good. That's waiting for another 10 tons of gravel. This one's waiting for another truckload. We haven't started getting any in here. Not yet, at least. Probably will eventually, though. And did we... Right, so we did not start repairing this one yet. No, let's go and do that. And now we just need to wait for workers to arrive in here. There we go, so it has been assigned. It's only 2 work days, so once we get the next load of workers in there, that should be enough to complete it. Oh, we started selling a lot of boards, so actually have a look on the boards. Oh, right, so we did make almost 250 ruble profit last month. And this month we've thus far made about 500. If we keep this going, we might be getting to like 2,000 rubles sold in 1 month. It's pretty decent. I mean, if we have a look at the total this year's numbers, we've already done 10,000 rubles, so that's already doubled what we did last year total. Admittedly, we only started exporting like boards somewhat early in the year, or like in springtime. And then crops we started selling only at the very end of the year. And this year we've already done 6,000 rubles from crops and almost 5,000 from boards as well. So we've already surpassed last year's board profits, or board sales, both in tonnage and monetary value. And then, of course, crops we've sold a whole lot more this year. Like about 8 times, almost as much thus far. We've got 216 tons of crops there, so at least the crop situation is pretty decent. Got a little bit of crops on the fields here, nothing massive. So at least we are mostly staying on top of that task as well. But I suppose we only got one harvester, so that does allow the trucks to go and empty the fields a lot faster. Eventually we might have to add in a second harvester to be fair, but that's a future me's problem. I mean, we've got the harvester already purchased, but like we may need to set up a second farm or something to harvest the stuff slightly faster. Or just have more room for the vehicles, because we do not have the distribution offices unlocked other than the 5 that we start with. We've got 4 already placed, we've got 1 that doesn't actually have anything yet. But that's something that we need to worry about a bit later. Now, one of the things that I might... Well, actually, I suppose we got the storage over there, so that's not going to be too difficult for us, now that I think of it. Plus, we do have the flour mill in here, which does mean that we might want to store a little bit of crops over here for the storage, so that we can keep on producing the... food over there, locally. So I suspect we've got... Well, we've got the orchard in here. We've got the cattle field, which, you know, it doesn't actually produce too much. But we've got the cattle field regardless. And we've got the smokehouse. That requires a bit of wood, actually. So that reminds me, we should probably go ahead and assign, for this one, the open storage, where you can pick up wood from there as well. Is there anything that... I suppose you could deliver some wood for the vehicle repair station. I don't know if they'll actually be using that. I have no idea, but there might be. There's nothing else we can deliver that would at least then for the smokehouse, because I know that that is going to require a little bit, not too much. I'm hoping that this is going to be long enough distance over here so that the traffic around here is not going to cause issues. I suspect it's probably going to be good enough. At least for our needs. We may need to plant some more trees in here at some point, but again, I suppose we might want to wait until we have kind of placed down everything that is needed. Other thing is, I might put in like a fountain or fountain in here or something. Should be able to fit that in there, but we don't necessarily need to worry about that quite yet. So we've got amphitheater. I believe we've got theater in here as well. Yeah, we do. And then we've got the library-ish thing in here. And we've got our pub, or tavern. So that should be a lot of attractions for the people. Oh, there we go. The roundabout is done. Let's go ahead and put in the correct signage in here. Oh, come on. Okay, that one works fine. That one works fine. That one works fine. Okay, we need to do this manually. So 3 is a yield, and that is going to be a... There we go. That is now accordingly. And then let's go ahead and put in the... I wonder actually, is the motor vehicles... I guess motor vehicles should be all of them, but... there should be the interior or inner side. Remove the traffic from there. So there we go. That should be at least allowing the vehicles to move around the correct way. Yep, it's turning to the correct way now. And it's going for the gravel works unfinished road 30. Oh, so it's this one. Yeah, that one's getting some more gravel there. That's good. We might not actually need to worry about this one right now. Like, I do want to get the transformer in here. But beyond that, we don't really need to worry about it too much yet. So we can focus on some of the other roads. And that one's waiting for a lot of stuff still. Do we have any dumpers available in here? I think they're quite busy right now, aren't they? That seems to be the case. Did we repair this one? No. Wait, oh, bollocks. Do not cancel the repair if you're long idle. So can I actually assign it to be repaired again? Ah, I can. There we go. Let's start that over. They should be able to start repairing it now. Yeah, there we go. the wear and tear is going down rather rapidly. And that can be used accordingly. There we go, so that's the... Hey, it is actually using the gravel road now, finally. That's going for the grain storage? Oh, right. Well, I suppose, yeah, if it needs to go there, then that makes a lot more sense. That's 235 tons of crop still, and another 11.7 over there, so it's got about 250 tons total when we factor in some crops from the fields as well. That all crops that are on their way. There we go, so that's a bit more exports. The price is 58 rubles still, so it's still at $69 actually, interestingly enough. I still need a bit more gravel for the footpaths in here. We did do the repair, so I guess we could actually go ahead and send this one back to the depot there. I'm guessing the digging crews are still... yeah, they're mostly fine. Let me just double check the wear and tear. So there's some that are 28%. That's mostly the dumpers, to be fair. Those are the... well, they are probably driving the most right now. And a lot of the time, not on the most efficient roads either. There we go. So we've got... actually, no, this road is not accessible to everything in here yet. It is enough to bring in some of the gravel, at least, I guess. But that's about it. So we do want to upgrade this road at some point. Of course, this highway is going to become asphalt road somewhere down the line. It's not going to be anytime soon, though, because, you know, we have no vehicles that would really even be driving at faster than the mud roads right now anyway. Eventually we will, but not yet. It's mostly just weatherproofing the roads right now, that's about it. Oh, there's a bit more fertilizer coming in. And we've got a fairly good amount of crops still around, so that's good. Right, so that's fine. We have probably all the dumpers busy. We could get another dumper, to be fair, in here. We've still got room. We've got 4 concrete, we've got 2 open holes, to be fair. So getting another open hole wouldn't actually be too bad either. We got... oh, wait, no. Is that... yeah, there's 1 covered and 4 or 3 concrete. Okay, so that makes more sense. But I suppose we don't... no, I think we just want to have another number, quite frankly. There's 500 rubles now. How much did we make last month? Oh, almost 1,300. So we can definitely afford buying 1 extra truck now. If we can keep this... I don't think we can keep it going this way forever, but like right now at least we're getting pretty good amount of money. How much do we have? Well, yeah, we got plenty of wood there. Of course, we are processing a lot of that into boards. Oh, that's already empty of wood. Okay. And that's slowly emptying, but that's not too bad yet. So we have been selling a lot, and of course we won't be selling all of this. So it's just if we run low enough, we'll start to... well, we'll stop selling it, essentially. Right, so we did get an extra truck in here. It's probably going to refuel first. Yeah. So I did not set up a better... well, I suppose we got the refueling over there. We got a refueling station over here, which is not built yet. It has gotten some of the gravel, but it still needs a whole lot more. Actually, how's the... right, so that road is almost done. That's going to reappear back at the base. And that one's getting a bit more road work done here. Still not quite there yet, but I suppose so we've started. The orchard we've set not to be built. I think most of these buildings are not to be built yet. The jail was still there, and the smokehouse is still there. With the White House, I guess we could just suspend the construction of that. And the barracks is... the construction of it is something we might want to build already, and the fire station is definitely something we need to build. The garbage collection point, actually we might need some more garbage collection points in general, to be fair. Well, this one's got probably room for, well, it's within reach of a lot of other things, but not all of it. Did we put in a garbage collection point in here yet? I don't think so. This is right now, it's difficult to tell what's what. So, we'll worry about that later. We've still got some space to add in some extra ones later on. Or after the fact, so it's not the end of the world, even if we don't put them in quite yet. Because it would be ideal, or better to plan around, or plan them in from the get-go, rather than adding them in later, but... yeah, well. Oh, we got a bit of traffic jam over here. Well, it might be because we're selling a whole lot of boards in here. That one's selling boards. This one's selling boards. That one's selling crops. That was importing some fertilizer. Oh, right, that's importing some gravel. Okay. There's a bit of imports, a lot of exports. So if we do have a look at this year total, so we've still a deficit of 23,000, which is about all the import of resource, of which metal steel makes 14,000, so there would be only a 10,000 deficit without steel imports. To be fair, we haven't had to import any recently. So there is that. And gravel is a fairly significant portion of that. Of course, the amount of exports last month was really good. I don't know how good this month is going to be, but it's probably going to be somewhat similar. It was almost 3,000 last month, total of exports. About 2,500 to be more precise, but still, it's a pretty good amount. There we go, so we got, yeah, last year was almost 74,000 deficit. And middle of that, a decent bit of was foreign manpower and import of resources, and quite a few vehicles actually as well. Now this year we haven't imported a lot of vehicles. Foreign manpower is still fairly significant, but it's a bit less because we haven't been doing quite as much construction work that requires workers, mostly been road construction this year to be fair. And then the export of resources has been a pretty decent amount. We've actually only done half the imports this year compared to last year. I mean, there's still a decent bit for steel, but yeah, it's not that bad. Manpower is still fairly significant, so we are actually paying all the foreign manpower right now, the new vehicle that we purchased, but that was, you know, we had already previous month done a huge profit. Well, relatively huge profit, so we could afford that. That allowed us to get an extra dumper so we can get a bit more work done on the roads here. Because the sooner we get all the gravel in here, the better. The sooner we can then get to work on the city itself. So I suspect that it's probably going to take quite a while still before we get most of these things. Let's see, the clinic we do want to build. I guess the amphitheater. One of the kindergartens we're going to need, but we're probably going to build the other one. The one over here. The theater we don't really need it immediately. I want to have the children's playground. At least there, the school is definitely needed. The produce exchange is going to be needed. That's going to require a whole lot of resource though, so that's transporting everything in here is going to be an issue. And the water substation, of course, is going to be needed, and all the water pipes. At least the water substation is going to be something we need to have, because it's going to make our life a lot easier than setting up the town. And once we have some population in here, we can use that population to build the stuff a lot faster, of course. Here we are, so that's a bit more gravel brought in here. Still requires 12 truckloads though, so it's going to be a lot of back and forth. It's not so much the fuel cost right now, it's just the time cost really. That is the problem. But of course, we started in early year, or early start, so that we have plenty of time then to just, you know, slowly go through things. So it's not really that bad. Like, this was to be expected. Was I really, like, for me, especially when I'm playing at earlier starts and all that, like getting the first town like up and running within the first 5 or 6 years is alright. It's not great necessarily, but I usually don't build the towns right next door to the customs. Because, you know, I need to have the room for the import area and construction things, and potentially, depending on the resource nearby, might need some stuff else or other stuff there. I could potentially set up another farm in here, actually. And just have a few more fields for this. I wonder, could we fit in a new farm there? Or do I want to have a medium farm, quite frankly? Probably not up there. Somewhere further down the hillside, maybe, but I suspect that might still be a bit of a problem with the medium fields. Or not. I mean, I suppose, who am I to complain? It is a bloody steep field, but sure. On the other hand, I suppose I could put them sideways in here. Or something like that, but yeah, we need to get probably a medium farm. Problem is that it won't quite fit. I mean, if we do a bit of terraforming, we can probably squeeze it in here somewhere. Ideally, probably somewhere along here. Problem is that it doesn't want to go in there, at least not without a fight. So we won't start building it yet, but we might leave this area for a bit of farmland. And that way we can just, you know, get a bit more crops, especially crops nearby to run through the flour mill would be nice. And then we're going to have this farm just work for providing for the fueling stations, or the feeding stations, as well as exporting. And then the other one could be providing at least some crops for the food production. Now, the flour mill that we do have, it takes 3 tons of crops, but no water, to produce 1 ton of food. Whereas a regular food factory takes about 2 tons of food and some water to produce 1 ton of food. It does pollute a bit more, well, yeah, this doesn't pollute anything. This one does pollute a lot, or a little bit, it's not really that much. It requires a lot of workers, to be fair. Well, this one's actually, let's see, so that's 8 and a bit workers for a ton. And over here, 6 workers for a ton. So, technically speaking, still per worker, we are probably going to produce more, but, you know, the input cost of resources is going to be a bit higher. Plus, it doesn't really have a lot of storage room, so it will require some other infrastructure, basically, next to it to really be operational. Alright, still need another 28 tons of gravel there. We haven't gotten anything for that one yet. Where's the digging crews? Not there yet, at least. Let me just double check. Is it waiting in here? No. So where's the open hull truck then? It's probably delivering it. Oh! Right, we've done the groundworks for the horse feeding station now. There we go. That's gonna get some gravel and board, and we can then build that and then start refueling that. So the vehicles can actually refuel on the way. They don't need to go all the way back here to refuel. I mean, technically speaking, they are probably returning down here anyway. But we want to have a few more of these refueling stations along the way, just so that, you know, there's less back and forth driving to get to their locations. Oh, there we go. So we're getting a bit of road over here towards the orchard area. We'll probably build the roads in here. We won't build the buildings necessarily. Actually, let's suspend the construction of the cattle field as well. And I think we might use the prisoners. We probably won't have a lot of them, mind you. We will eventually have them. So we'll probably use the prisoners to run the... at least partially run the cattle field. We'll also only need 1 vehicle to bring them in here. And it's such a short distance that it should be fairly, you know, frequent. So we can keep the production going in there. We can maybe have some actual workers run the smokehouse then. Just to be on the safe side. But yeah, I think the cattle field is going to be fine. Then we'll have some workers run the orchard. And then we've got the vineyard on this side, which is also going to be run by just regular workers. And we do have our sort of university compound in here with several buildings. Plus this, I suppose there's the children's playground in the corner there. I do want to... No, I don't think we have the option to put anything on... Oh, I suppose we could just plant a couple of trees there in the middle. Just for the heck of it. A couple palm trees in there. It isn't much, but it's... I guess 4 of them? Yeah, 4. Can we actually get 1 more to the corner? Oh, yeah, we could get 1 more. There we go. I think that's more symmetrical. That'll do. So a few trees in the middle of the yard. That'll be fine. Oh, there we go. That road is getting some more progress down there. And then that one's waiting for more gravel. We have at least gotten the digging crew in there. Now we just need a whole lot of gravel to be brought in. And of course the trucks are using the slower road. Well, I say trucks, wagons, I suppose would be more accurate. But anyway, we're getting at least some work done there. We haven't got any of the gravel for that one yet. I suppose they are... Oh, well, that one chose the correct one. There we go. Well, that could use a bit of repairs. Now, that's one of the things that we might need to start planning. Probably not today. But I think Monday we'll probably start repairing some of those dumpers one by one. Just like pull them into the repair station, give them the repair orders, and then once it's repaired, we'll send it back, and then we'll take another one, and so forth, until we repaired all the dumpers. Because, you know, we got the vehicle repair station already up and running. We can quite easily repair these. These are quite cheap to repair, admittedly. So we can go through that fairly quickly. We actually even got some of the wood there now. So that's good. We've got 2 vehicles over there, but neither one of these is actually needed right now. And the footpath over here still needs a lot of gravel. Actually, let's have a look at the listing in here. So there's a lot of the roads that are pretty high on the priority list. There's a horse feeding station that has gotten some of the resources, but none of the gravel yet. It is getting some more wood brought in right now. I think that's the only one that is... Yeah, no, the dumpers are still busy with other things. Well, I guess that's fine. So that one's going to get some gravel. That one's probably going to get some gravel. We'll eventually get these roads built here. At some point, we are going to also go ahead and build up the in-between bits of the road. But we'll probably want to use our domestic workforce for that. Because it's going to be too short to use the mechanisms in there. So we do need to use workers, and I'd rather not use the foreign workers, because we need to pay them for that sort of stuff. Plus, it's pretty far away from the border, so getting those workers in there is going to be a pain in the butt. Well, there's a 3 worker. I do actually wonder how expensive are the steam cars. So that's 600. It's got room for 4 passengers. So we could potentially. It's got 45 kilometers speed. Okay, it's not the end of the world. So what we could do potentially. Well, I suppose we got the rule that we can't have for every 100 citizens that we can have 1 vehicle that is not available from the get-go, and the steam car was not available from the start. So that's out of the question right now. But later on, we could maybe have like 1 or 2 of these to bring in some key workers from here. Perhaps to work somewhere in here. Now, to be fair, we did 600 ruble profit last month. This month we're already at 800, and it's only, well, we're entering the latter third of the month, admittedly. But yeah, no, we're actually making money. Which, honestly, I'm a bit surprised. Now, to be fair, we are running a little bit low on wood, so sooner or later we will run into problems. But right now, we are still exporting a lot of the wood. We're doing a lot of the, well, wood cutting is still fine. There's quite a bit of trees cut down in here. Well, admittedly, they're a little bit hard to see from the grass. But they're there. Right there. There's actually a lot in there. We might want to plant some more trees soon enough. We did plant in a lot of the trees in here, a bit of mixture of trees, and that honestly looks pretty good. Of course, that will be cut down sooner or later, probably in about a year or so. We'll get around to do that. We still haven't cut down too many of the trees in here. I suspect, actually, I think they're cutting down the trees in order of age. Or something like that. At least, roughly speaking. Although after a certain point the trees will stop growing, so they won't like grow higher than that, for example. Okay, how are we looking on the crops? We got, still got 250 tons there, plus another 13. How much do we have in the fields? We've got a little, oh wow, we've got 73 tons over there. We're still harvesting a little bit more, but it's almost harvested. Yeah, there we go. It's a bit low on fertility right now, but we'll be getting that fertilized soon enough. And off the fields we got, right, so we've got 1 that we can work on right now. Most of the others are growing, I suppose there's 1 more for harvesting, that one over there. So how much, if we got 73 tons there, let's actually have a look at, first of all, last year's stats. In production, we did produce 30,000 rubles worth of stuff, of which board, or wood actually, is the biggest one. Well, we did produce quite a bit of it, and boards make quite a bit. So we produced a bit shy of 400 tons of crops last year. And then this year we've already produced, well, it's a bit more than 400 tons. But yeah, with fertilizer we should be able to do 2 harvests per year. Right now, of course, since we didn't start using the fertilizer for a good while last year, it's, well, actually not really even much last year. I think we started mostly this year. But we will be getting another, like the harvests are going to be earlier and earlier as long as we keep doing that. And it's just going to be, especially with this many fields and not that many vehicles to work them, it's going to be basically, well, not initially all times, so almost at all times there's going to be 1 field at least ready for harvest. Sometimes more than 1. But like we can get most of these, or basically the harvester can keep on working at all times, and then what we can do is once it starts going a bit bad in quality, let's see, that's the farm vehicle harvester. It's got wear and tear of 2% already right now, or only 2%, so that's not too bad. I do wonder, actually, some of these dumpers, how long, or how much driven, or distance have they driven? It has 155, almost 156 kilometers right now. Without maintenance. That's a decent bit, I suppose. I mean, you know, if they, especially if you have like vehicles throughout the game for like, I don't know, tens of years or whatnot, then those will eventually have pretty insane amount of kilometers driven. Not quite realistic amounts of distance perhaps, but still a pretty decent amount, I would say. Oh, there we go, that one's about to be done. This one still needs a bit more gravel. I guess that's going to open up even more roads to be built. That one hasn't got on the gravel yet. Of course, there's a bit more work over here. Well, we haven't really started working on any of this yet. I guess we could go ahead and get that one at least underway. Somewhere down the line. Admittedly, since this road is going to be going for the end station, we could redraw it a little bit. Let's do that. It'll just have it go a little bit more down this way first. And we'll curve up over the hillside a little bit and then connect there. There we go. So it's going to be slightly smoother movement through there. But also does discourage some of the... Right, so yeah, it's from here they're heading into there. So we could maybe even move it a little... Oh! Then we just had a vehicle move through here. What's that, shadows? Oh, there's a truck there, alright, but that's not the one... It may have its shadows, to be fair. So what I'm thinking here, actually, is so we're going to go ahead and redraw more of this now. That is a bit of a area that probably needs to be redrawn. How bad is the... Oh, Right, how bad is the... it's a little bit steep in there. Steep downhill, but I think we can probably make that work. There we go. That's a bit better. Right, so the wood cutting is still ongoing. I mean, we have probably produced a lot of wood. Of course, we're not selling too much of it, but we're using a lot of it for boards, to be fair. And the boards do sell fairly well. How's the price for boards right now, actually? Oh, it's down to 12.5, so that has gone down a little bit. But at the same time, so has a wood price. Gravel price is still about 7 rubles. Not that we produce it, mind you. What are the crops? That's almost 19 still. So that's actually not that bad. There's a bit of crops coming in again. We're still getting 58 rubles per truckload, so... Well, of those bigger truckloads, to be fair, but it's still a pretty decent amount overall. There's a digging crew coming in for another road. Which one is it going to be? Going to be one of these. I guess this one, maybe? Yeah, that seems about it. No. It's actually going for that one. Okay. It's not going to be that difficult to build these admittedly, so we can probably go through that. We need to build those roads sooner or later anyway, so... The sooner we open up the possibility to then start building the buildings itself in here, the better. We might actually stop building the factory connection first. In there before I forget about it. Now we will have the orchard over here, which... To be fair, we probably need to put in a distribution office here somewhere. Question is, of course, where do we place it down? I suppose we could place it in here. I don't know if that's going to be a good idea, though, because it's going to be a bit further away than what it needs to. Alternatively, we could also put it in here somewhere. Maybe connect to that road once we've built that. Admittedly, that is... Well, it is set to be underway, at least. If we do have a look at the distribution office over here, how many things are you working on? There's a lot of roads. That's about it. Oh, so it's not assigned to these two. Okay, that's good. But that does mean that the digging crews should not be delivered in here yet. Of course, once we do build those, that's going to be a slightly shorter distance. And that's covered. Oh, right, that's picking up some more crops. Which one's from here? We've still got 53 tons waiting there. Oh, and we've already fertilized it, basically. Nutrient levels are already pretty decent. Fertility level at already 150%. So is that going to be... Oh, probably is going to be working through the entire field. Which does improve the nutrient levels, to be fair, which I'm not entirely sure about this, to be fair. But I think it might increase the speed that it grows a tiny bit. Well, I could be mistaken. Like, the fertility is already pretty decent. Of course, it gives a bit more time to empty the previous harvest from there, so it's all good. And we're still harvesting the other big field in here. Now, I'm pretty sure that in emptying the fields, they usually prioritize whichever field has the most crops in there. So right now, they're emptying this one, and as soon as this one gets surpasses it in tonnage, they'll probably start emptying that one, or then alternating between these two. Because there's a lot of these smaller fields that still have a bit of crops there, but they're not touched. Right now, I think that is mostly in case there's like, well, the usual map, or default map, or any map really that has a winter. It does mean that the crops will wither in the fields if they're left there, and thus, you know, the trucks will try to prioritize whichever field has the most to lose, essentially, so that at least you can get majority of it out of there, because I believe the withering is, roughly speaking, percentage-wise, but once it gets low enough, then it just disappears, all of it. But that way it can minimize the losses at least a little bit. Alright, well, we've got still plenty of workers available there. Now looking for this year's export, 17,000 already. Pretty decent. It's almost 10,000 from boards and almost 8,000 from crops. Last year we got, yeah, not even nearly enough. But this year, we are getting into pretty good shape there, and I suppose if we don't need to import as much steel for a while, I mean, once we do start working on the town, we're going to need a little bit, but it's not going to be too bad. I mean, this year we imported 43 tons, and to be fair, some of the pipes and such there are still going to be a bit expensive. Did we get the... Oh, we got some of the gravel there. Still a whole lot more, though. But I guess what we could do is just go and assign these to work on that. I'm going to go ahead and assign this a bit high priority, so we can get the gravel in there quickly. And that way we can start refueling in here. And literally before we supply that, we might want to get the road upgraded. Driftwood Carver, thank you for the follow, much appreciated. There we go, that's, right, that's a dumper heading back. I suppose I'm going to go ahead and send this one to be repaired real quick. It shouldn't take too long to repair it. I mean, we'll just send it in there. It's not too badly worn down yet, but we do want to make sure that we fix it before it gets too bad. We don't want to have our wagons breaking down. Okay, so that's still going to require a little bit more. That one's going to require another 12 tons of gravel. I mean, at least we got on up to the town itself already with the roads. Of course, it's still probably going to take a better part of the year to get all of these roads built, or at least most of these roads built. And after that, it's going to take probably about a year or two to get everything in here into position, or point where we can get population moving in. So, all of this is still going to take a while. But at least we got on... I mean, we started with the road built up to, like, this point, or somewhere around there today. So it's a decent bit of road built, for sure. So actually, what did we import? Steel is, of course, a majority, 14,000, and that makes about... Well, it's not quite 60%, but it's more than 50% for sure. Like, I don't know, 55% or somewhere around there. And the gravel, we did import quite a bit. We're using it quite a bit. Admittedly, gravel is not too expensive per ton. And of course, this is, of course, future-proofing the roads and all that. So it is put into good use. Same with the concrete. We use that for building some of the buildings. It did cost us a decent bit. There's a bit of the components, but that's mostly for the wiring. There's a bit of the fabric. I suppose some of this was also the vehicle repairs. And then there's the fabric. For the vehicle repairs. Mechanical components, I think, was also for the vehicle repairs. And the plastics. And fertilizer we imported a decent bit, but it basically hasn't cost that much. Like, it's $300, or not $300, 300 rubles. And that's not really that bad. I mean, that's in a full year almost, and that's a few truckloads we'll pay back, so yeah, that's definitely worth it. And then there's the, well, a bit of bricks and prefab panels. So this was when we expand. Oh, right. A lot of the expenditures over here were also when we removed the boards from here, essentially, and started importing a bit more of other things. Well, we've imported a little bit of power, but that doesn't really cost us too much. And a bit of water, but that's only just one truckload, actually. Speaking of which, do we have a lot of water in here, then? That's the sewage wagon. That's the water wagon. Okay, no, that's actually empty right now. Well, I guess that's good enough. For now, we are running a little bit low on wood, so let's go ahead and stop exporting the boards right now with this. Let's see, so customs, stop unloading there. So we can allow the stockpile to increase a little bit, especially for the wood. I don't want to run out entirely out of wood, you know. Do we have... Oh, right, we picked up some more mixed waste over there. We just have a little bit biological and construction waste, but not too much. It's mostly burnable waste. This would be kind of ideal to use in, like, an incinerator heat or power plant. Of course, we do not have access to that tech yet. But eventually we will. And that one's, right, that refueled. Ah, right, so we got the vehicle probably in here, didn't we? We did. Let's go ahead and repair that, shall we? We've got a repair in progress. And then, how we're looking... Right, so I suppose we're going to have some harbor areas in here, probably. Especially like passengers. We could even have potentially some tourism eventually. I don't know if we want to have it in this town, to be fair. I'd rather... Actually, let's have a look at the map a little bit. There's a bit of an island over there. It does have a rural connection in there. That could be quite interesting. Of course, well, I suppose if we go around there, we got a road connection quite easily up to here. But that one's it's shallows, but it's not good enough for road construction. So we'd have to do a bit of terraforming, or build a bridge, I guess. That's also an option to get through there. Alternatively, oh, hold on a minute. Isn't there... There's a small island in here. I'm kind of thinking, could we potentially turn this into like a very tiny island for construction purposes? We'd probably need to get a bridge in here. Through there, we'd probably need to get a bridge across here first then. Alternatively, we could turn that one. I mean, technically speaking, if we had helicopters, which we won't have for a while, yeah, so the bridge is probably going to be a best bet. I wonder, how bad is the... Okay, it's a little bit steep terrain there. That actually could work in our favor. We could have the access bridge on that side. So at least the bridge isn't going to be quite as far down. And then how much... let's actually have a look. We've got some... that's tourism. Some small hotels. A village motel. It's actually quite tiny. What about just a vanilla small hotel? I mean, it's not that bad. But what we'd probably need to have is a cargo harbor to bring in stuff. So we'd have to still have some trucks in here and all that. So, like, probably half the island would be the logistics over here with the bridge access. And then we could have a few hotels in here, a few attractions, like anything that is small and doesn't take too much room. And probably a little bit of housing as well we'd need there. So it would be... I don't know, like a small town with maybe 200 inhabitants or something like that, and then have a few hotels in there to get some decent income from tourism in there. Probably wouldn't be too effective, but it might be a fun little project there. But we are now at the 1st of January, so let's have a look at the numbers for last year total. So $18.7 thousand from exports, of which boards they made over 10,000. Crops made also a pretty decent amount, admittedly, but it could be higher, it could be lower. I mean, we've got still pretty decent amount of crops over here to export, so the exports are going to continue. We did drop the board export at the end of the year there, just so that we can regain the wood, at least to some degree. Of course, once we get the stockpile filled up in here, that is already going to be sorted out, I reckon. One of the things that I could maybe do is just reduce the amount of workers allowed in here to, like, at least most 3. That might still be too much. But yeah, so we've got a bit more. We are hopefully going to get some more progress done on the town next time. I'm sure we'll get at least some work done there. But let's have a look at the raiding potentials. Who's available? Oh, actually, price versus streaming. Alright, let's go there again. But I will be back tomorrow with some more Project Zomboid, and then Sunday is going to be more Heartland 3. Monday is going to be more of Workers and Resources. The next Wednesday is probably going to be more Kingdoms Reborn. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.